Of your day right here with us. We have a full team on set. All my colleagues are in, so you know we are about to have a good show right here with different conversations being had right here on the show. One of the conversations will be on matters women at the forefront. And today on the show, I'll be having a lady who is in a male-dominated business. She is in the business of wood. Yes, timber. She is the director, My Wood Trading Company. Her name is Kathy Andrews, and we're just going to look at her journey, which is a journey of resilience and purpose, just on a mission to ensure that we are encouraging and empowering the next generation of women. So you definitely want to be tuned in for that conversation. It will be coming your way at around 9 a.m. Of course, we'll be talking matters politics. Victor, a lot of realignments will be happening or are going to happen. By the time we get to the August 2027 elections, we are sure to have seen a lot of realignments.
It's the transfer season and season of realignments we talked about yesterday. And just before sunset, the news was also there that IEBC, you know, also having a lot of shake-up. Marjan is out of the commission. Uhuru also revived Azimio. Kalonzo Musyoka being now the coalition leader, and a lot of changes there. With the familiar faces likes of Junet Mohammed now out of Azimio as officials, but they're still members of Azimio, not officials. And yes, you've correctly put it. From now until August 2027. Please be so sure to see a lot of movements. This is this time they say it's a transfer window. And you talk of Wednesday, and you talk of a lady doing something completely unique. Yes, she can. I'm also talking about Rose Müller. She wants to be the president of the Republic of Kenya. We've never had any since independence. And she says, yes, she can do it. And that is a discussion I want to have with her at exactly 7. What are some of the what is her manifesto basically, and what does she stand for? What am I supposed to gain as a president if she becomes president, and as a citizen? What am I supposed to gain from her? That's the discussion I want to get from her at exactly 7. And Mike.
Yes.
Alafu?
Sasa, I want us to, away from politics, we look at matters to do with air quality management, because you look at Nairobi city, there are efforts by the county government to ensure there's high density, real-time monitoring of air quality and management to ensure that it meets health standards, because in 2025, Nairobi experienced air fluctuating air quality ranging from moderate to unhealthy. And you look at people with who are considered to be within sensitive groups. So that is the conversation that we'll be having, air quality through data and regulation within the capital. And I'll be joined by Victor Muthike, who is an air quality specialist from Air Quality Systems East Africa, and Jacob Olonde, who is the Executive Director, Environmental Capacities and Sustainabilities Institute. That is a conversation that will be coming to you at around 8 a.m. So I invite you to tune in to this live broadcast. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning to you, team. It's good to have everybody on board. I'll be keenly focusing on, rather anticipating that political conversation, or rather the iron politics conversation this morning there, given that particular meeting that we saw between Obasanjo, Uhuru, as well as Kalonzo, with and seemingly speaking from the same side of the podium, saying that seemingly burying the hatchet between Uhuru and Gachagua could very well mean that the mountain is coming together ahead of 2027. So that's a question that will be pitting to you, Victor, as you take on the conversation going forward. And as well as other developing stories is that a majority of Kenyans, especially those who use public vehicles, are still, oscillating between a working system and a non-working system, chaos and such, as stakeholders, that is the matatu owners, boda riders, as well as authorities and TSA and the police there continue to have somewhat an impasse to try and just bring things, or rather streamline things within the transport sector. Then, if you did not know, then I take this opportunity to inform you that you can no longer have the 50-pager passport. It was silently withdrawn yesterday, now meaning only what is available for you, especially if you had never applied for a passport, is a 66-pager passport that is going to cost you 12,500. A lot of uproar on the social media platforms. You're yet to hear from the Immigration Department what necessitated that particular withdrawal. Remember, this is not the first time that they have withdrawn a particular passport booklet. They started off with doing away with a 34-pager. Now the 50-pager is off the market, so to speak. And the only time you can actually get a 50-pager is if your current passport is damaged, right? Or you are replacing. However, if you are applying for a new passport, you are going to be forced to part with 12,500 shillings. The ripple effect, especially when it comes to corporates that sponsor their people abroad, or rather their employees abroad, that is going to affect that also. Those who are seeking greener opportunities now will be required to dig deeper into their pockets. And this comes as a report has come to the fore that several billions of shillings have been lost in the youth program targeting diaspora placement there. That and so much more in Not to Know. This is in the headlines. You can be part of this conversation. Get us on X. What is your take on the current dynamics from politics to business, as well as what is happening on the sporting arena? And now we start off with matters Drought, where approximately 2.12 million Kenyans in Lamu, Mandera and Turkana are affected by drought-related stress. This is according to the weatherman, who attributed it to the failed and depressed rainfall witnessed during the 2025 October-November-December short rain season. Some of the factors that contributed to the failed and depressed rainfall include the Indian Ocean Dipole, La Nina, and Maiden Julian oscillation. The government says it has put in place proper mechanisms to support those affected. Here is Opicha Chemtai with the details.
Kenya is currently experiencing heat and drought stress, with Lamu, Mandera and Turkana counties being the most affected after experiencing failed rains in the 2025 October-November-December short rain season. At the 12th National Climate Outlook Forum in Nairobi, organized by Kenya Met Department, that brought together climate experts, policymakers, academia and researchers to discuss how to focus upstream from response to prevention and readiness.
The UK is currently now working on disaster risk finance.
Acting Director General of Kenya Met Department, Edward Muriuki, in giving the 2026 March-April-May season forecast.
Highlands west of the Rift Valley, highlands east of the Rift Valley and the northwestern parts, we are anticipating average to above average rainfall. The eastern parts of the country, the ASAL parts, average to below average.
Noted that the country is not yet out of the woods, especially those counties that had failed and depressed rains.
Average may not be adequate to offset the deficit that is already on the ground because the O&D rainfall failed in these areas.
This, even as he noted concerted efforts to ensure early warning alerts are dispatched to the counties.
We came up with the Weather Kiswahili Dictionary. We are trying to translate because these terminologies we realized we were just talking to ourselves.
Remains committed to working closely with the Kenya Meteorological Department and all partners to strengthen climate information services.
Muroki dismissed claims of a heat wave, saying above, below and depressed rainfall is expected in various counties during the coming March-April-May season.
Ili heat wave itangazwe katika mji wa Nairobi, temperatures lazima, maximum temperatures ama hali ya joto ya kila siku ya juu lazima izidi 32.
Environment Cabinet Secretary Dr. Deborah Barasa, while acknowledging the heightened drought situation in the country, assured that the situation is manageable.
We're able to distribute food to the vulnerable communities, and with the support from the commissioners to ensure that we are fully mapping everyone, and everyone is really benefiting from the current government.
The Cabinet Secretary noted that understanding climate risk is crucial in deciding appropriate intervention mechanisms.
Have our experts at a county level who will now be working with the various sectors to ensure that everyone is well informed of the climate outlook.
Moving from crisis response to preparedness is a message that climate experts and policymakers are putting across that will ensure a success of early warning system that will actually benefit the affected communities.
A clarification on whether or not we are experiencing a heat wave. Well, it's good to know that it is just normal high temperatures that are expected during this particular season. Now we cross over to matters election, where the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Chief Executive Officer Marjan Hussein Marjan has resigned from his position. In a statement to newsrooms yesterday evening, the Commission claimed Marjan's services were terminated mutually. The Commission says it will appoint an acting CEO before substantively filling the position, promising a major reform in the Secretariat meant to achieve internal accountability, institutional preparedness, and results-oriented systems. Marjan has served as CEO since his appointment in March 2022 and has been steering the Commission after the 7 commissioner positions fell vacant up till the resolution last year. Now, the opposition leaders have been demanding his sacking over alleged renewal of a tender for election management technology. Well, now we'll wait to see exactly what direction the IEBC takes and what, the political sector, or rather, space is going to say about that particular, ouster or resignation of Marjan there. Is it a win for the opposition, who have been clamoring for a change of guard and just pointing out what they term as anomalies that are currently taking place at the IEBC? We'll be keeping tabs on that. Now to matters graft, Busia Governor Paul Otuoma was Tuesday grilled by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission over a 1.4 billion shillings tender fraud in the county. The probe is based on numerous reports from members of the public and the Senate regarding entrenched corruption and theft of public funds by Busia County public officials, largely through revenue diversion and irregular procurement.
The 7-hour grilling and statement writing at the EACC Western Region office in Bungoma by Busia Governor stems from numerous public complaints of suspected fraud in awarding of tenders amounting to 1.4 billion shillings.
A few issues they wanted us to clarify, and they wanted us to clarify in terms of some issues that had arisen in Busia. On issues of, trailer parks, on issues to do with procurements.
I wish to confirm that he was summoned to our office today at the Bungoma office, where he is appearing to record a statement. He is not being arrested, but he is being interrogated. He is being writing a statement, and we are also investigating him among other 8 officials of the county government of Busia for alleged irregularities in procurement or various projects within the county of Busia.
The governor and 8 other county officials are being probed over irregular award of tenders and payments to 26 proxy companies operated by family members and their associates.
So that as an investigative body, they'll be able to look into it and be conclusive. Some matters are not new. They are already in public domain. Some are already in the Senate through the Auditor General's reports. Some, we have been taken to court. Some are litigations in court. So these are already matters before the public domain.
The money in question include 90,031,678 paid to 4 private entities, namely Bayer Farm Care Limited, Liokizi Investment Limited, and Multidose Agro Supplies Limited, allegedly linked to the governor and his family.
I think that is being very unfair to them, because as I told you, there are hundreds and hundreds of files here going all the way back to 2013. And I'm sure they will be in a better position to give you those answers.
As part of these investigations, the Commission conducted a search operation last year targeting 3 CEC members, namely Topista Wanyama for Finance, Peter Odima for Lands, and Paul Olunga for Youth and Sports. They also carried out searches in the houses of Chief Officer Gibson Ojambo Wafula for Finance and 2 directors, Evans Wandera and Leonard Omacha, for Supply Chain and Management.
Because as I told you, some of matters are going back to 2013 up to current.
The governor was also required to shed light on alleged irregular procurement and economic crimes in the construction works for the Busia trailer park yard during the 2023-2024 financial year. Documents unveiled indicate that the county government irregularly leased land for the construction of trailer park yard in Busia town without any tendering process. In the lease, the county is alleged to have signed an agreement with a contractor, MS Athi Limited, for a term of 25 years at an annual rent of 1.4 million Kenya shillings, the money to be adjusted every 5 years upward at a rate of 10%. The county was then to receive 30% of revenue collected and the company to retain 70%.
Still on graft, Kitui County Governor Julius Malombe has told senators that his administration has yet to take full control of sand harvesting in the region. The governor says the sector has been infiltrated by cartels who are frustrating the enforcement of a law that seeks to transfer the activity from the hands of community-based organizations to cooperatives. The governor had a hard time explaining how the county government collects only 15 million shillings in revenue from the sand trade. Our senior parliamentary affairs reporter Gishoki Washira has the details.
The Senator Moses Kajwang-led County Public Accounts Committee invited the Kitui County Executive, led by Governor Julius Malombe, to respond to audit queries on on-source revenue for the financial year 2024-2025. The Watchdog Committee taking keen interest in the submission by the county government that only 15 million shillings was generated from the sand harvesting and transportation in the entire year.
Now, you have reported 4.1 million. 4.1 million, if you are to divide by 365 days, is an average of 11,000 per day. 11,000 per day, even if you took an average of 2,000 per truck, is 5 trucks per day. Is that reflective of the state of affairs on the ground? That there are just about 5 trucks every day paying cess in Kitui?
Chair, it depends with whether the sand is commercial or not commercial.
Immediately we feel like our intelligence is being insulted. We become very agitated. Kindly just answer the question. You are the ones who have given us these figures. Is it feasible that really in a day in Kitui that there are 5 trucks only that pay cess for sand? The answer is a straightforward no.
Attempts by the Kitui County Executive to attribute the meager revenue to lack of regulatory framework to manage the sand harvesting business in the past only elicited more questions from the senators on how the new regulations had improved the revenue collections.
More than 70% of the sand that was used to build this building came from Kitui County. So we are building cities with our sand. We are not getting a single cent as a county from that sand. And most worrying is that we are turning rivers, and I say the governor can correct me if I'm wrong, we are turning our county into a desert with every truck that ferries that sand.
What's coming out is there's a feeling from the members of the committee that there could be a cartel in Kitui County that is either collecting cess and not reporting or not collecting cess at all.
Governor Malombe acknowledged the cartels were still running the sand harvesting business despite the county government enacting a law that would transfer the management of sand harvesting from community-based organizations to cooperatives and thereby eliminate cartels.
I won't deny that there are cartels. First of all, depending how we define a cartel in this particular instance. But if cartel means people who are doing business which is not regulated and who make sure there is no law and order. Previously, yes, there are cartels, but I can tell you they are on the run.
Even as the senators remain concerned that cartels are still benefiting illegally from resources that should be benefiting the people of Kitui, the Kitui County Executive is optimistic that the new law will phase out the cartels.
Well, that is Kevin Washira, our senior parliamentary affairs journalist there, just giving us a recap of what was happening within buildings yesterday. Now to politics. Kalonzo Musyoka is now the party leader of the Azimio La Umoja Kenya coalition, replacing the late former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. In the changes filed at the office of the Registrar of Political Parties, Carol Omondi has replaced Junet Mohammed as a coalition secretary general, while former Nairobi Mayor Philip Kesia takes up the position of executive director, formerly occupied by Raphael Tuju.
With less than 2 years to the general elections, political realignments are at play, with leadership changes taking place within the Azimio La Umoja Kenya coalition party that now appears to be coming back to active politics. A letter by the Registrar of Political Parties reveals the Azimio Council and its National Coalition Executive Council held a meeting on Monday, February 2nd, chaired by retired President Uhuru Kenyatta. The meeting ratified various leadership changes. Kalonzo Musyoka was named the new Azimio leader, replacing the late Raila Odinga. Suba South MP Carol Omondi is a new coalition secretary general, following the removal of Suna East MP Junet Mohammed from the position. Former Nairobi Mayor and politician Philip Kesia becomes the new executive director, replacing Raphael Tuju.
My former president served this nation with dignity.
Following the new development, Azimio affiliate National Liberal Party has written to the Registrar of Political Parties, demanding the registrar to provide the coalition's deed of agreement, the current list of constituent parties, and details of those that have exited. Also, a section of professionals drawn from Siaya County has backed Eliud Owalo's presidential bid, citing his 10-point agenda as a transformative economic blueprint for the Nyanza region.
Siaya's time has come not to shout louder in politics, but to finally convert its land, water, intellect, and labor into shared prosperity.
We are strongly behind Eliud Owalo as Women and the Caucus for Women Siaya chapter, and we intend to mobilize it nationally because he's not going to be a Siaya leader. He's going to be a national figure.
Well, before we get into matters business, just to remind you that in the headlines there, we have a story that indicates that stakeholders now want the payments to SHA to be made public for accountability and transparency. That is amid public uproar, on services that are said not to be rendered under SHA, with a majority of institutions, including some county governments, steering away from having or rather working under SHA. So we'll be keeping tabs on that. That is one of the stories that we have on our papers, and we're going to be looking at that when we sample the stories that have made headlines in our various dailies. Now that takes us to business, where Kenya has rolled out green reflective plates for electric vehicles and motorcycles with existing automobiles given until June this year to transition. Plans are underway to offer incentives to motorists with electric vehicles and electric motorcycles bearing the green reflective number plates, such as subsidized parking and toll charges, dedicated parking spaces too.
Kenya had about 25,000 electric vehicles as at mid last year, with electric motorcycles and bicycles making up about 95% of all registered in the total figure.
We are truly grateful for the direction that we have been given by the government. This gives us bigger confidence by the manufacturers and the investors in order for us to grow in the industry.
To drive uptake of electric vehicles, Kenya has launched the newly approved electric mobility policy, which, among other things, introduces new reflective green number plates, which will cost 3,000 shillings.
Going forward, every vehicle that will be registered will be given a green number plate. Going forward, the 24,000 which have already been registered will have the window to replace them progressively. You know, number plates are only 3,000 shillings. I don't, will suddenly, and there is cost of production.
Chirchir says motorists whose electric vehicles bear reflective green number plates will in the future enjoy lower parking and toll charges, access some restricted zones, and be earmarked for special parking spaces.
It's good optics for our country. It's important to basically appreciate how we are moving. It's marketing.
I think for us, it's almost like a badge of honor. Because what happens in certain European capitals or more developed capitals, people who have green plates get certain privileges.
Kenya is encouraging the shift from internal combustion engine vehicles to electric vehicles due to these reasons.
We talked about energy, we talked about training, they talked about the cost of importation of fuel.
We are truly in the right track in terms of EV adoption in Kenya, and today is a testament of that. We are excited to play a part into that. There is a huge growth, and seeing that how it will impact the economy of Kenya.
Electric vehicle adoption in Kenya has been slowed by inadequate charging infrastructure, expensive initial cost of units, and low awareness among most members of the public.
In some developed countries, green number plates like this one will probably exempt you from parking fees or paying excess charges related to climate change. Here in Kenya, we are just starting the first step.
That is Alan Aoko with that particular update. Now, members of the public are calling on the government to ensure all proceeds from the divesture of a 15% stake in Safaricom to Vodacom are strictly ring-fenced for development. Some of the speakers at the Public Participation Forum at the Kenyatta International Convention Center questioned the timing and the implications of the transaction, as Trevor Ngendo now narrates.
Joint sitting of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning and the Select Committee on Public Debt and Privatization witnessed sharp exchanges as members of the public voiced concern over the fate of the country's most profitable company.
Pesa ni yetu. So Safaricom ikienda kuuza ile shares si pesa ya serikali bali ni pesa ya nani? Sawa. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema kuongea kusema mimi si support.
While fears were raised that partial divestiture could open the door to foreign control of critical digital infrastructure, supporters acknowledged the government's need to ease the fiscal pressure.
I support selling the shares but to Kenyans.
Mimi na support hii kitu badala ya kuenda kukopa pesa.
From civil society actors and economists to small-scale investors, speakers said selling any public interest in Safaricom should be handled well.
If these shares are going to be converted of making good roads from here to Turkana, then we start getting those oil. That oil will assist us repaying back the loan or assisting us do other projects.
Na pahali niko pale niko kwa zile nyumba za affordable, ninaona ile kazi inaendelea. So nikiona ni mambo ya development, hiyo najua ni 100% hiyo pesa inaenda kufanya hiyo kazi.
You have also raised concerns about making sure that the fund is ring-fenced by law so that money does not go to the consolidated fund services to pay for other things. And it's good that we have even discussed what happened during Eurobond, where we borrowed more than almost the equivalent of what we are raising now, but we cannot point out what exactly was done by that Eurobond.
Legislators maintain that the proposal is still under review, adding the feedback from the Public Participation Forums will be a central role in Parliament's consideration of the proposed transaction. What has clearly emerged from this public hearing here is a deep sense of public caution over how the state handles its most valuable assets. While the government argues that the partial divestiture could ease the fiscal pressure, it's the view of the majority of Kenyans here that Safaricom is still a strategic pillar of Kenya's economy and should not be touched without absolute transparency or consensus.
Public participation is currently underway across at least 30 counties there to just put into place what do Kenyans want in regard to this particular planned divestiture or 15% government stake on Safaricom. A lot of questions emerging from various stakeholders. Some arguing, is Vodacom was it the only best option for this particular divesture? Government is working on alternate funding, especially now that we are looking at where we are debt. As it were, by end of June 2025, we were looking at 11.8 trillion shillings. And reports also indicate by the end of December, we had already surpassed the 12 trillion shillings mark in as far as public debt is concerned. Statistics indicating that debt servicing is taking up a lot of what is generating at around a rate of 67 to 68%. This means that for whatever 100 shillings that is actually meant to, or rather collected, 68 shillings goes to debt servicing. A situation that has, government officials working at, alternative funding. But is this the best that we could for Safaricom? Those are questions that are going to be answered as we undertake the public participation and just wait to see what is going to be happening in this particular case, with some economists arguing that the monies that are going to be collected are not necessarily, meant to, get into budget and development. So that's where the call for ring fencing the monies that are going to be collected. So this is an ongoing issue, and we are going to be keeping tabs on it as we bring this to a close. In as far as matters business is concerned, is that yesterday the Kenya Revenue Authority got a green light, so to speak, to tax unexplained bank deposits. Let me take that again. The Kenya Revenue Authority can now tax unexplained bank deposits. That is after the court ruled that money flowing into bank accounts is presumed to be income unless proven otherwise. So just in case you find yourself in that situation, well, just know that was a decision taken by the courts. We'll be taking a quick breather, but when we come back, we're going to be looking at just a brief update on what was happening in the sporting arena before we usher Victor with his first conversation on matters politics. So do not go.
Tunatambulika kwa mandhari yetu ya kuvutia,
tamaduni zetu, ukarimu wetu, vyakula vyetu, uchapakazi,
na pia kwa sauti tofauti za watangazaji wetu waliobobea.
Dibengo niko hapa aka upcoming sponsor. Bila shaka hapa ni kama PDG, ma deep state vile cartels.
Tunaenzi talanta za pwani, tunakuza talanta za hapa kwetu nyumbani.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tuko mjengoni kama kawa na wanangu wengine wawili.
Usikose kutegea 103.1 Pwani FM, station ambayo itakupa fursa ya kupata uhondo kamili wa pwani na kuleta Wakenya pamoja.
Pwani FM, tafrija ya kipwani.
It's nice to see you.
I think our angel is not ready for this world yet. That's why we should keep waiting.
Tunavuna French beans.
Kisha tunaangazia upanzi ama kilimo cha mboga za asili.
Kilimo sio mbaya. Kilimo iko na ina manufaa sababu ina pesa. Ukilima na ulime vile chakula inatakiwa kupandwa, weke mbolea, weke kila kitu. Kama wewe ni mwanzilishi, utaona faida na utaona utatoka bure.
Ungana nasi Jumamosi hii saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1
kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.
All right, so Regina is still here. Regina, we have to break the protocol. For once, let's just break the rule of production.
Annoyed. I need to take this so that you do not get annoyed, and that is what we mentioned.
No, it is Fadili.
Fadili,
our director and producer, Fadili, a Chelsea fan.
No, I know. That's why I need to read this piece of bulletin before you get annoyed for no reason. So Arsenal took a step closer to winning their first major silverware since 2020 as they bet Chelsea, to reach the Carabao final. This is leading 3-2 from the first leg. The Gunners had to wait until the 97th minute to seal the progress on a tense evening at the Emirates Stadium there. And Mikel Arteta's men who are top of the Premier League table and still involved in 3 cup competitions, will face either Manchester City or Newcastle in the final at Wembley next month.
Can you repeat what you said? Arsenal is? but did it come from...
At the top of the EPL
It's
table.
very lonely.
No, we're only saying you are currently at the top. We do not know.
What do you mean?
Looking at the history of Arsenal,
Mm-hmm.
you do so well through the season, then when it is just there for your taking, you drop the ball.
Regina, we can debate about this until show
No.
But the
I
thing
don't
is,
want us to debate, so I want to leave it to you to have the conversation that you're about to have in regard to where we are heading. And now, is Kenya ready for a female president? I'm sure that's a question that you're going to be answering in not too long. From me is have a great day. Remember that at the end of the day, you matter.
Thank you, Regina. All right, so let's talk about politics now. And I'm privileged to have the next president, presidential hopeful. The last time we were here was in 2022, all right. Rose Müller is a party leader and presidential hopeful, Empowerment and Liberation Party. Madam President, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
It's been 2 years ever since we last met on this set.
Time seems to go very fast.
So fast.
Very fast.
I don't see you so busy on the ground. Where have you been? And yet you're a presidential hopeful.
The thing is, there's time for everything. Thank you very much, KBC, for inviting me once again.
Yes.
Time has gone very fast. And as I said last time I was here, apart from being a politician, I'm a business lady.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, when the time for politics got finished, I went back to business.
Yeah.
So that I could allow those who are elected to have time to work. But I want to say one thing, that I'm not just coming as a female president, the first woman president in Kenya, but more so as a head of state. Head of state who is not, you can have different head of states.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to come as a head of state who is feeling the pain of Kenyans. And I want also to say that being a gender, I'm not coming as a woman, but I want to come as a person who can bring people in Kenya can feel safe. I'm coming as safe hands, in other words, safe hands for Kenyans. And I don't want to be a critic. I'm not coming as a critic of the government. I'm not coming as, that these people who just talk because they want to talk.
Yeah.
I'm coming because I'm feeling the pain of Kenyans. Kenyans are hurting, and it's very interesting because when I was told I come and I'll be given 1 hour, I felt 1 hour is too long because Kenyans are tired of speeches. They don't want a lot of stories.
Okay.
They don't want a lot of promises. They don't want, in fact, they are tired. Oh, what Kenyans want? Kenyans, they want somebody who come and help them to heal the pain they are going through, because the main pain in Kenya is economy.
Is economy. And how do you revive that economy? Because now you're saying that we are tired Kenyans, you know, we don't have enough time. How are you going to handle it? What's your manifesto?
I think it's so simple, because looking at things, Kenya, we are not lacking money. We are not lacking resources. We have got human resource. We have got the natural resources. And I want to say that when the whole world is controlled, is economically driven.
Yes.
The world is economically driven. And when you talk of the world, you talk of the individual world. That is, whether you are individual, you are family, you are community. It's economically driven. That is, you go to the market, you have to spend money. Transport is there. There is education. There is everything, you have to spend money.
Yeah.
So the thing is, Kenyans, they need somebody who come and talk, just lowering the cost of living. The cost of living has to be lowered. And how do I plan to do it? I say one thing, it is to stop overtaxing the Kenyans, because that will not improve the economy. The way to improve the economy is to reduce taxes. It will make money available in the banks so that Kenyans can borrow. They borrow from the banks at reduced rates, so that at least they can be able to do business, and then they'll be able to pay, instead of borrowing from microfinances where the profits are too high that they cannot even make it. And then the other thing, I feel that Kenya, we are not exploring everything we have, because Kenya, we have a big land. We have big land in Kenya, but it is underutilized, and more so underutilized because when there is a shortfall of rains for only 6 months, there is famine.
Yeah.
Like now we are feeding over 2 million Kenyans. There are countries where there is no rain, deserts, but they don't suffer from famine. The thing is, we make use of the land. There is a lot of water, underground water. We can make use of it and improve the farming so that food becomes cheaper. And then the other thing, we are not using the underground resources in Kenya, because in Kenya there are a lot of minerals. For example, when you talk of gold, not the one which was mentioned in Kakamega and everybody ran there. There is gold, that strip from South Sudan, Uganda, going all the way to Tanzania. There is gold. And my dear, let me tell you, 1 kilo of gold, 1 load of gold, we can have a kilo of gold, a kilogram, we can say it is like 17 million. And if we can just concentrate on the underground, instead of fighting where the gold is, we explore and get that gold properly. We need about 50 lorries to make 1 trillion for Kenya. And that is, we need a lot of technology. We have to embrace technology in Kenya.
Yes.
We have to embrace technology.
We've not, you correctly put it, we've not had any female president since independence, 1963. What makes you think that you're going to be the first?
In fact, as I said when I was starting, I'm not coming as a first woman president, but I'm coming to offer Kenyans safe hands. The gender, it will be an added advantage. And I'm saying this with due respect because I'm involved in, I like construction.
But agenda is number one. Because you have to sell your agenda to Kenyans.
Let me tell you, my agenda to Kenya, you know, of late there are many agendas in Kenya. There is an agenda of 1 term, there is an agenda of 2 term. But me, my agenda is new term.
New term.
New term.
Okay.
Something which has never been seen. I don't want Kenyan to see me as just a woman, but I want them to see as a head of state who is not an activist. A calm, competent alternative. In other words, I want to have a Kenyans and a calm, competent alternative. I want to come as an alternative to Kenyans, because when you look at what is happening, it is like a competition.
Yeah.
But Kenyans don't want competition. Kenyans want their resources reaching them, because when I talk of, it hurts because the policies in Kenya are excellent.
Yeah.
They are excellent, but they are not being applied effectively. Because when we talk of devolution has taken place in this country. But then that is services, resources are being devolved to the county governments. But there's one thing I want to say, and I say this respecting the ones in office, is that we tend to be focusing at the top. So I'm not focusing at the presidential seat. I'm focusing right from the ward to the top.
Yeah.
Because when we talk of corruption, although that's another different thing, when we talk of corruption, we are talking about the national government, the corruption taking place within the national government. But we are forgetting that resources were devolved to the county governments. We are not following that corruption which is in the counties. There's a lot of corruption. And of late we have seen the Senate is so busy trying to find out why why money has been misappropriated in the counties by the governors. Nobody is talking about the corrupt governors. Nobody. And I think the moment we are going to take charge in this country and they say everybody becomes responsible, whether you are MCA, whether you are governor, you are MP, you are senator, and that kind of thing, woman rep, when we talk of corruption, we should start from down going up.
Okay. When are you starting your campaigns? When are you starting your activations?
I can say that at the moment, because you know there are IEBC set times, the timelines. We have to go by the IEBC timelines, because you don't want to start campaigning immediately after somebody enters office. Of course, it will become treason. I'm saying I'm running as a president, and there's a president in office.
There's no offense to that. You just have to make yourself available and let people know that you are going to be the next president of the Republic of Kenya.
And that's why I'm here today.
Okay.
And I've also been saying it since last year, saying that I intend to join the race. But my intention is not to go and fight Monday, day in, day out. From Monday to Sunday, we are fighting. The way we are seeing people fighting, and until, I'm sorry to say, in the churches, sometimes you don't want to go to a church because you don't know what will happen. Because people have decided to use the platform of the church to campaign or funerals. This one is also something which we should also think about, because as a president of a country and as a citizen, there are some areas which are sacred.
Yes.
We have Muslims, we have Hindus, but we don't see such gatherings and meetings, occurrences in the areas of worship. But the Christians, sometimes I think we better re-examine ourselves. Otherwise, we don't want to get the wrath of God.
Yeah.
We are mocking the house of God. I think the pastors and the Christians, we should not go to talk politics in the church.
Yeah.
We can come to a place like here.
You want to fit in the shoes of the likes of Charity Ngilu, the likes of Phoebe CEO, the likes of Wangari Maathai. Talk of those ladies, you know them, who fought for the liberation of this country. Do you think you're going to make it to the top seat?
I think everybody has got their own time. The timings are always different. And what I can see is that I'm not going to compare myself with the Charity Ngilu, Martha Karua, or this Wangari Maathai. They did their part, and we respected them. Life is dynamic, and things are changing. I'm coming as me with the new technology, because we have to embrace technology. Yes? And we embrace technology by seeing what is happening to our younger people. Our younger people, they are not going to... we never saw them... for example, when the Gen Z went to the streets, we never saw them advertising that we are going to go for rallies along the roads, and helicopters and choppers and sun-roofed vehicles. But they use technology. And these guys were able to mobilize each other and movements in the about 17 counties. I'm not going to do things the way they were done before. Mine is to talk to Kenyans because my agenda is not one term, as I said, it's not 2 term, it's a new term. And what is my agenda? My agenda, they are Kenyans themselves. The Kenyans who are suffering, they are my agenda. The Kenyans who want change in their economy, they are my agenda. The Kenyans who are worried about unemployment, that is my agenda. And my agenda is to see that there is no stealing, there is no corruption, because when you are corrupt, you are stealing from your child, the food of your child. And I say this with, why I said I offer myself is because, as you said, a woman, I'm coming as a mother of a nation, but I'm going to handle things as a CEO.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is so hard for any single political party to clinch the seat. And party, the Empowerment and Liberation Party, are you seeking to have any coalition with any political party out there?
I think this one I'm saying is a big no.
So you're going to go it single-handedly as a party?
I'm going single-handedly with Kenyans. And you know why? Because, truth be told, when you look at the united opposition, I respected them. And one of them had even called me to work with them. When I look at it...
Sorry, someone called you from the united opposition?
Somebody called me so that we work together.
Them. Okay.
But I said, no, I cannot come because, my friend, when you look at the united opposition, it is just a duplicate of the ruling party. Why? Because they have just shifted base and come to form the opposition. All of them, look at the list. They have all been inside there in the government in one way or another, one time or another time. They have been in that government. And when it's a shame because when they were in that government, and the Kenyans, let us call a spade a spade. And if I'm wrong, correct me. When they're in that government, you could hear there was shareholding. Now they are out, hakuna shareholding. Now the government is bad. You can't 1, 2, 3, all of them. They were in that government. What made them not tell us what was going on in that government when they were in the government? They should have created awareness on us and kept the government in check so that the things they are telling us now, they could have corrected when they were inside because they had the power when they're inside. Now they have no power. That's why the things happen the way they happen.
But you know, yes, winning an election in this country is not easy unless you have a coalition with other like-minded parties. Empowerment and Liberation Party going all alone.
I'm saying I'm not going alone.
You're facing Kenyans as a person.
I'm going with Kenyans because the thing is, we can say about, we have got 290 MPs. Then we have got MCS about, because the awards are for 1,450.
Yeah.
And then there are the nominated, and then maybe the ones who are employed by the government in the executive. You are talking about maybe 20,000 people who are now holding the power. And now these are 20,000 people against 50 million. I'm going with the 50 million. Which one is bigger? The 50 million or the 20,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got even more power than those who are united. Yeah, because I've got the 50,000 people, 50 million people who are suffering. That's why it is Kenya to decide. They decide because, and you know what I'm telling them to decide? They decide either these people, they go home willingly, those who are stealing from us, who are causing us the pain. Children can't go to decent schools. The other day I was looking at the TV, this day and age, after so many years of independence, I saw children sitting under a tree, learning under a tree. And then I looked and said, with a lot of dust, how will these children concentrate? And these children are going to compete with the children who are learning in the upmarket areas, doing the same exam, and you expect that child to pass. Now, My pain is there is an MP, there is a governor in that county, there is an MP in that county, there is a woman rep, there is an MCA, there is even a chief. And nobody has ever seen that child learning under a tree. Now what are you telling me? It's Kenyans to decide.
And you want to change that?
Of course, it's so easy. When you see an MP with a fleet of vehicles and a big mansion, and not one in Kilifi, another one in Nairobi, another one in Dubai, all those, how much do you need to build a school? With 50 million, I'm in real estate. 50 million, you can build a very nice school. Yeah, and you can buy books. How come people, places like in Namibia, education is free from primary and to secondary? They don't have more money than us. We only need to have responsible people. And we need to reach a state where like, sometimes I get all anger. We need to reach a state where like Asian countries, even the Singapore we are planning to go. When they find they have stolen or they are guilty of doing such a things, some commit suicide and others resign willingly.
Okay.
I expect some people in this country to resign willingly if we don't want them to commit suicide because it's expensive.
Let's talk about this. You know, the two-thirds gender rule is enshrined in the Constitution.
Yes.
And it is still a hard nut to crack to date. The late Honorable Raila Odinga was a very good proponent of two-thirds gender rule. He tried as much as possible to incorporate many people, appointments of many, both genders in the cabinet and appointment. There's all that. How are you going to handle this?
I think what there is one thing I want to say. I am happy that the late Honorable Raila, and we respect him, he did his part. He considered the gender rule and even the BNWDs.
Yes.
Yeah, he considered, and even those who are from marginalized areas, he considered that. But the thing is, coming to think about it, when you go to school, because mine, I'm not just thinking of a gender. I'm thinking of people who can perform, a person who can deliver. Irrespective of the gender, whether you're a man or a woman. Sometimes I feel for us women because we are the majority in this country. When we talk of the population of this country, and according to the last census, we are the majority, but still we tend to wait for favors. I like somebody like, there's a time I was watching a clip of Junet Mohammed, and he was saying, women are the people he trusts, the sure bait, that will get a vote of a woman. Because when a woman tells you, I'll give you a vote, I'll give you the vote.
Yes.
But men, in the morning, they'll tell you, but afternoon, they change. Now, it's a high time also, I sensitize women in this country to wake up and take over, because a woman is a manager.
Yeah.
And I say it's a manager because you'll find a woman in a house and carrying a baby, another one is doing homework somewhere, and she's coordinating. She'll even pick her call and she's talking, and she doesn't get confused.
You can multitask.
Yes.
Okay.
That is a kind of a woman. So when it comes to gender, let us give work to the people who are able to do it, even our younger people. In fact, I feel for them because we need to give them jobs. Young people are so many in the homes, and you can imagine how chaotic that home is. When you educate one child, you have second child, the third one, and then after the fourth one, and all of them come back to you. They have no jobs.
Okay. We only have one job here, to take a break.
Thank you.
Please, let's take a break. With Madam President, okay, come 2022, she said that yes, she can do it. So let's wait and see how it's going to be. Let's take a break, and when we come back, I still want to circle back. Does she have the muscles? She said that she can go it all alone without any coalition of other like-minded parties. Is it possible? Let's take a break. We'll be right back with more. Stay with us.
Nataka uongee na vijana wenzako wachukue kura kwa wingi.
A big announcement coming. Inatuhusu sisi vijana katika hiki kijiji.
Umeng'arang'ara sana bwana Vipi leo unakwenda kumwangalia Matilda?
Mimi mambo hospitalini kabisa.
Na moja natoka pesa ngapi?
Moja ni 35k tu.
Mbona usiziweke kwako?
Unajua mimi ni mtu wa mashughuli hapa hivi na pale.
Bwana asifiwe.
Nikusaidie vipi?
Hii NGO ni ya Amerika.
Hilo jambo zuri sana.
Unajua siku moja utakuja kunihitaji wewe.
Wapi?
Na salimia dada Monica.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Katika Qur'an tukufu Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala anatuamuru tukumbushane, kwani kukumbushana kunawafaa waumini. Kwa mujibu wa hadithi, Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam anatushauri tueneze ujumbe wake angalau kwa aya moja. Basi tunatia ari kufanya ambacho ni jukumu la kila Muislamu, kukumbushana mema na kukatazana maovu. Tunakuletea mawaidha za mashehe, wataalam, maustadh, madrasa, makala spesheli na Okti Fatuma Yakub, mafunzo na historia za mitume na maswahaba, na burudani kupitia nashid na wasifu za munshid. Tazama ukumbi wa Kiislamu nami Alishe kila Ijumaa saa 9:30 katika KBC Channel 1.
Right, and welcome back. She said that she'll give me a job in status once she gets employed. A good job for that matter.
Yeah.
And a flag. You know what I want. Okay. Why I'm not seeing you in a chopper? I expected to see a chopper landing at, at the helipad here, and with security, people, bouncers and men in black coming around, and big cars, siren. You're a presidential hopeful.
I think those days are gone. Thank you for that. Those days are gone when Kenyans were moved by choppers and these convoys and a lot of noise. Kenyans, all they want is low cost of living. They want somebody who can relate with them. And Kenyans, they are not moved by those. You have noticed even when they go to this, and it will surprise many people in Kenya, because come 2027, you'll have the rallies and have so many people, and you give all the money, because if it's the money you have worked for, you'll not give it freely, because you know how hard it was to get that, to make that money. So people will go and eat the money, take your money, and they will vote wisely, because Kenyans are tired and they are alert, they are weak. And we are dealing with the very sharp people in Kenya, particularly the younger people, and the Kenya elite. They are watching. Everybody has got an iPhone, and they have got a Mulika Mwizi. They are watching, and because I know, like today when I'm talking, we are here with you in this section. We are not in any other county, but we are in Nairobi. But I can tell you, the whole Kenya is watching from their bedrooms, in their matatus. Others are walking, and they are watching, and they are seeing. So that's a kind of level we have reached in this dispensation.
Yeah.
It is a time of technology. So we don't need choppers.
Okay.
We don't need choppers.
Let's talk about the issue, because I'm looking at the front page of the local dailies here, 2 of them. The new IEBC boss fate was sealed. That is Marjan. That is the electoral body, which is actually mandated to carry out elections. Again, you being the presidential candidate, you have a lot to take care of when it comes to elections and IEBC. What is your take on the current state of the electoral body?
I think what I can say is that everybody deserves an opportunity to serve.
Yeah.
This gentleman, Marijan, he has served for 9 years. Let's say 9 years, because he had 1 year to go. And I think it is very honorably if that he resigned, because it is said that he resigned willingly.
Yeah, mutual consent.
Yeah, he resigned because if he was to, his time was expiring in March next year. And by resigning like that, another one will be engaged so that he can familiarize himself with electoral procedure before 2027. If he left 2027 March, the one who was going to take over as a CEO was not going to be able to catch up. And we need to have someone who is very conversant with the runnings of the IEBC. It's a very sensitive area. So long as he was given his benefits, and it's also okay to serve your term and go. And that's why I'm saying, when Kenyans, we have reached a point where I'm telling Kenyans, we don't need to keep on recycling baggage of politicians who have been in office some 30 years, 20 years, 50 years, and they are still there, going to be re-elected. It's high time they get out of the way, like the way this gentleman has done. After 10 years, another one comes. And that's why we have seen in Kenya, the president has only 10 years if he is re-elected. And we have seen they always come back. And the president never comes back to run as a president again, or even as a MP or governor. We want to reach a point in Kenya that we don't recycle. And some are a liability to us Kenyans. Because when you see a school, you have been MP or you have been a governor for 10 years, and your children are going to learn under trees, I think that is a person we should kick them out of office.
All right.
So this one is quite in order.
Kenya stands at a very clear point when it comes to international relations, the way we relate with our international friends in other countries, the jurisdictions out there. You know, we are members, we belong to different organizations, the AU, you know, the UN and all that. How, if you get elected, will you strengthen Kenya's foreign relations with those that are the foreign bodies and other countries out there? Because we are, you know, where we are the favorite so far, if you call it, in Africa.
I think that's a good question, because Kenya, internationally, Kenya, and starting from 70, when we got independence, Kenya is a country where we are respected. And as individuals, even when we were like in the 70s, early 80s, when I went to UK to work there, I was received so well. I was promoted very fast, and they said, "You are from Kenya. We know Kenya, there is order, the laws of Kenya are good, and the people of Kenya, they are responsible people," and that kind of thing. Our image in the international world was very good, but of late, we are going down. And that's why you see most of the international the countries, they have offices in Kenya, because it's a place where it's reliable. And that's why you see there is a lot of migration of people from developed countries, and they feel very comfortable in Kenya. Even African countries, there are so many, and they don't mind even owning properties in Kenya. At the same time, the world has become a globe, a village. Even in Kenya now, we are going even out. So that's why we look for green card, and we go out, and we want to seek for greener pastures. And that's why even I feel very offended sometimes when I hear somebody say, these Somalis are coming, there are too many in Kenya, and they are doing this and that. The Somalis, we forget that they are Kenyan Somalis, and there are those who are coming as foreigners to do business here. The way we ourselves, we are going to other countries to do business in those countries. There is nothing wrong having Somalis coming to do business here. At least they are bringing money here. And I want to give an example like when you talk of, the other day I was telling somebody about Minnesota issue. At least those guys, when they took that money from America, they came and brought it to Kenya and they invested in our country. Unlike our people, our politicians and our leaders, when they steal money in this corruption way of doing, when they steal money, they go and invest in Dubai instead of investing it here. I'm not saying that they did very good to steal the money to take the money from Minnesota. Of course, that one, let it be handled by the U.S. law, legal matter. That's a legal matter of U.S. Yeah, but let us try and invest very much in this country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unemployment is a very big problem, and we have a very big youth bulge in the country.
Yeah.
Please tell me, together with your think tanks and technocrats, how are you crafting to resolve this?
This one, I've been talking about it, and even when I was campaigning in 2022, I was talking about the youth. And now they were youthful, now they are young men, the others are getting old. That the way to handle youth and employment is so simple. And you know how we do it? We have got all it takes. One thing is to stop to go to the world level. The Kenya is been segmented to the world level. The thing is, I plan to have projects done from the world level. And that way, how do I do it? Money has been taken to the county government, and how it is used, we do not know. All we are seeing now, we are seeing children learning under trees. We are seeing patients in hospitals who are sharing beds, no drugs, that kind of thing. Youth have crowded the capital city. Everybody wants to go to capital city. The way to create employment for the youth is to have these contracts. You know the contracts when they are taken by, they are privatized and they are controlled by other sectors where they are circulating among the people who are in office. They are the same ones doing the business. The best thing is to centralize that one. I centralize the procurement procedure. And I make sure that certain percentage, either 50%, I put it aside for the youth. And instead of giving them 20,000 to start business, I have a team which you have the project which the youth can manage. Sponsored by the government, given money by the government, and instead of giving them 20,000, which I don't know what business they are going to start with, that one I will comment it later. We make sure that they do the project. And where is the project? The projects are in the ward, they're in the county. And we have to remove this money from the governor. The money should be removed from the governors. Governors should be given only money to pay the salaries of their people and their expenditure. But the money for development will be handled by another team. And this team...
And that is your plan?
That's my plan.
Okay.
That's my plan. And this team will be operating from the ward level. So that there will be stock taking in every household of all the members of that family, those who have finished university, those who need jobs, and then there will be another advisory team at that ward level. We are going to have like the way the president has advisory.
So what will be the work of the governors if the MCAs, because if you talk about ward level, what will be the work of the governors?
The governor is to oversee.
Who will be the custodian?
The governor will oversee. But because I've realized when you take all the money to the governor, we have seen now they're in Senate. Where did you take this money?
It's the same as what the MCAs have been talking about, the Ward Development Fund. Yes. So does it mean that you'll take the money from the governors and give it to MCAs?
The money will come from the national government.
All right.
And it will be directed to a specific project, because if it is a ward, they are going to write the projects they want in that ward. They want schools they want hospital, whatever they want. They want water, there is farming going on, they want boreholes. That one will be managed, there will be a management team, people from that ward. Because I cannot come to your house and tell you there is no toilet in one of the rooms, or there is no water. You know your house better. You know where you need a toilet, you know where you need water to be put, you know where you want the children to sleep. It is the ward level. We have to take the power back to the people. Because now it is be somewhere in the air, and the money is disappearing between the national government and the
Okay, let me get it right. So the money will be controlled from the national treasury?
Yes.
Okay. Then it goes down to the ward levels.
Ward level.
So what will be the work of the county governor?
County governor is to oversee.
To oversee the projects in the ward level?
To make sure that they give a report. They make sure that the money is used properly. And the projects are done perfectly. That I think the governors are overwhelmed. If they can't build a school, if people have no medicine, they're overwhelmed. They need to be helped.
Madam President, that's like shaking the backbone of devolution.
And let me tell you, this one, I'm creating jobs for those people. Let me tell you, when I do that, there will be no youth coming to Nairobi or going to another county looking for employment. You know, the employment will be at doorstep. They will have employment at doorstep. In fact, we are going to decongest the cities because the jobs will be there.
And I'm so sure you know that for that to happen, that it means you have to do a bit of some, relationship with the parliament.
Oh, yes.
All right?
Yes.
You have to amend some parts of the constitution to work on that.
And you know why it will be easy? Because we are going to have new members of parliament.
Okay.
Not the ones who are fighting. Not the ones, they go and pass a bill. They pass a bill. You remember the bill of that bill which was passed, which caused a lot of problems? They went and passed the bill, and then the next minute, when the president cancelled the bill, they were standing behind him, clapping. Why did they pass it in the first place? So we are going to have new people in the... It is another...
Okay.
With a change.
Who is your running mate?
Yeah, that's a good question. Many people have asked me that running mate. My running mate is not a woman. It's a man.
Okay.
And he's from Isiolo. But I will not mention his name now until the right time. Yeah.
So your running mate is a man from Isiolo?
He's from Isiolo. You can imagine marginalized areas. Mausabiti huko.
Why Isiolo?
It is, no, you know, why I chose the running mate from Isiolo, it's not because of the region he come from. It is because of the values the person carries and the person who relates with what I'm relating with. You need somebody who will not come and agonize what you think it can be done, because we have seen when the people are not working together, you saw what happened with the current government. Within a year, somebody has to get out because they are not working together. You need somebody who feels what I'm feeling. Somebody who can carry on, because I don't want to be seen to be everywhere and doing everything. I believe in delegating responsibilities. And that's why I'm saying I do not understand why I can be a governor in a county and there is no school. I can be MP and there's not. You know, it's very interesting because in the sector where I am, in the construction, somebody will be in the US and tell me, build me a house of this kind. They don't come to supervise to make sure that there will be no crack, there will be no leakage, and there will be the house will not collapse. We need people who are responsible. It is cause responsibility because we need to behave like human beings. You don't. How do you feel when a child who did the exam last time? The child is from Taita, and then is given a school in Pokot, West Pokot, and this school.
Yeah.
A 13-year-old from Taita to Pokot, this school. What is that?
Okay.
In fact, what I want to do, particularly in education, there's no child who will leave their county to go to another county, or even a ward. They will not leave the ward to go to another ward, apart from to go and fill the nationals. We can have national school all over.
That's a debate. That's a debate for another day.
Thank you.
On a scale of 1 to 100, or maybe 1 to 10, or even 1 to 1,000, how do you rate the current regime as a presidential hopeful?
I think I can say 50-50. And another thing, I keep on saying, when and I'm coming as a contractor or developer, when you are building a house, foundations are invisible, foundations are indispensable. But when the house comes up, and then we put all the decorations and fittings, everybody looks and says, beautiful, beautiful. I will not give, even to give the president 50-50, I find it's unfair because President Ruto, he has a lot in his hands. And I think some things is still in a foundation stage. I think the right time to assess what he's doing, it is maybe next year, beginning of next year, then we can say either beautiful, beautiful, successful, or this one you went off. So that's how I can say. There are some things we cannot assess and say 100% umeanguka. And the only part I feel he can do better is to control corruption. Corruption is just too much and too bad, because I remember one time Professor Lumumba, when he was in the ESCC, they caught a person who had stolen, and the person, then when he brought him, he was told, this is our thief, leave him alone. That is, it shows there are people sharing the loot. It's only corruption where we need to do something about it. Yeah.
How unique will your government be if you get elected?
It will be, I can say it will be unique because of two things. First of all, I'm going to offer, I will offer this, I said the calmness, competent, alternative. And the other thing, I don't want to come as an activist. I want to be end of state who is not an activist or a protester. Because you have seen the way things are, like we have got activists. The difference is that we talk less and do more. That is the difference. And I will make sure that even law and order will be followed. Of course, when it comes to security, I don't condone brutality, even shooting of protesters. Anybody cannot talk. Let people. I like when people talk and express their grievances. But the thing is, I'll give a listening here as a mother of the nation, but I want to do it as a CEO. That's the difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I need to ask you a question. So what makes you a better person? You've answered that question. What do you think of having a running mate who is out there already and who has numbers and charisma and who has following? Would you pick anybody from...
In fact, the thing is, I'm not picking somebody because of charisma and us following. I said I've got Kenyans. I'm picking Kenyans who are suffering. Those are my people. Yeah.
Okay. What did you tell women of this country? You know, we are headed towards 2027 general election, and there's going to be a lot of movements when it comes to women getting out there, and they really want to put their hands in that field of politics and get elected. What would you tell them? Because I asked you the issue of 2,000 gender rule. You said you're going to handle that, but how would you talk to the women, the young girls who are out there who really want to get their hands in politics?
Thank you. I think the most challenge for women is finance. Yeah, it's finance. And I'm telling women, do not be afraid. Where we are now, you don't need to be a billionaire to win a seat. Kenyans have seen those who come and give money and they are billionaires. They have seen they are not performing because you are selling your birthright. People have been selling their birthright when they are being given the money and they are being bribed. You don't even need to be bribed. The suffering Kenyans are going through and the pain Kenyans are going through.
Yes.
It does not even, in fact, I can say in Kenya there are only two tribes. That the minority rich and the majority poor. So the majority poor, I want to talk to the women, and even not even the women, even the youth, and anybody else who want to join politics. Let us tell Kenyans, we are not giving you money when we come to campaign. We just, what you do, choose the right person, a person who you think you can pick a call, and when you call them, they pick your call.
The way you picked mine.
Yes, the way I picked yours.
Yes.
After many years, and up to now, I've not changed my number. People from Machakos, where I was campaigning, they still call me because I left my number with them. And I told them when I enter office, there will be no bridge. That you don't need to come through somebody to talk to me. You can call me direct. The same way, I will give a year. I want to say women come in big numbers so that maybe it's our time to assist our brothers. We don't hate our brothers, but we assist them and do things differently because at least we need a change.
Yeah.
And we need this change like yesterday.
Thank you. We need that change like yesterday. You know, I'm happy that the last time we were here was in 2022. We've met again.
Yes.
And the charge, the charisma, and you know, the energy, the excitement, and the interest that you had in 2022 is even way better from you know, compared to what it was 2-3 years ago. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And promise me that when you get there, you'll give me something.
Please, you'll be there. And you'll be there to tell people.
In your Jerusalem.
Yeah, you'll be there and you tell people how good we are performing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That is Rose Müller. She is a presidential hopeful under the party and also a party leader of the Empowerment and Liberation Party. She says that she wants to liberate this country. Are you walking the journey with her? If yes, yes, it's an open field. Please go out there and remember to take your voter's card as a Kenyan, all right? Before you take a break, let me take you through the front page of the local dailies. Very fast on the staff newspaper. Ethicon kicks Marjan out of IEBC in major shakeup. That's on the front page of the Star newspaper. The team cites a breakdown in working relations. That is on the front page of the Star newspaper. What about the Daily Nation? How IEBC boss fate was sealed. That's on the front page of the Daily Nation. How IEBC boss fate was sealed. The exit there was Independent Electoral Bodies Commission Chief Executive Officer Hussein Marjan, whose 5-year contract was due to lapse in March next year with no option for renewal, is now out of office prematurely. That is following a crisis meeting of commissioners. That is on the front page of the Daily Nation. And finally, Uhuru revives Azimio. That is what is here. Uhuru revives Azimio. In a dramatic meeting, former President Uhuru Kenyatta jolted the Azimio coalition with his sweeping leadership changes, sidelining minority leader, that is Junet Mohammed, and elevating Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka as the party, the coalition boss. Now, the move signals a re-energized coalition, tightening ranks ahead of next year's general election. Observers now say that the shake-up marks Uhuru's return to frontline politics, laying the groundwork for a high-stakes showdown with President William Ruto. My name is Victor Lowe. Have a good morning. Bye-bye.
It's nice to see you.
I think... maybe our angel is not ready for this world yet. That's why we should keep waiting.
Je, wewe ni mpenda soka? Na je, wajua kuwa KBC mwenzio wako wa dhati michezoni anakujali? Ndio maana KBC Channel 1 hukuletea taarifa na uchambuzi wa soka.
CAF ndio wamechukua usukani
humu nchini, barani Afrika na ughaibuni, ikiwemo EPL, Serie A, Bundesliga na ligi zingine. Mashabiki pia hutuzwa kwa kujibu maswali kuhusiana na soka.
Swali letu la leo.
Haya yote ni kwenye kipindi cha Dunda Dunda kwenye KBC Channel 1 kila Ijumaa kuanzia saa 5 asubuhi hadi saa 6:30 mchana.
Nawahimiza Wakenya waendelee watch Dunda Dunda show.
KBC, mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
Tunavuna French beans.
Kisha tunaangazia upanzi ama kilimo cha mboga za asili.
Kilimo sio mbaya. Kilimo iko na ina manufaa sababu ina pesa. Ukilima na ulime vile chakula inatakiwa kupandwa, weke mbolea, weke kila kitu. Kama wewe ni mwanzilishi, utaona faida na utaona utatoka bure.
Ungana nasi Jumamosi hii saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1
kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.
Jibu kadi mheshimiwa, hii yenye huyu ameuliza.
Wewe jibu ule mshtakiwa wa kwanza ule huko.
Inalingana ni saa ngapi unataka kuiba mwenzangu. Ukitaka kuiba mchana, it's still possible. Ukitaka kuiba kama unaonekana na Mungu usiku, it's still possible.
Usiingie kwa kesi ambayo
mheshimiwa.
Wewe unajua hata wewe sasa unatakana uko upande hii.
Exactly.
Una kiherehere sana. Ngoja.
Wewe uone haba iko Kiswahili anacheswa. Wewe ananunua pesa
kitu yenyewe walikuwa wakija wakichukua mchana.
Kesi ni ngumu, mtafunga nyinyi wote mchunge vile mnaongea. Excuse me.
Ulikuwa na receipt.
Excuse me, I'm not an office, my friend. I'm not an office.
Wewe.
I'm just a nightmare.
Wewe.
Excuse me.
Ati wewe ni nightmare.
Tamka hii ya mapiano inabidi umeibembeleza. Kama neno mob ama ukimbie man si utaipoteza.
Why do we attract the wrong people? So why are we attracted to people who hurt us?
So you've grown up in a very maybe abusive environment and now you're looking for familiarity.
To your relationship in a fuck work because the both of you want it to work.
They put in so much effort to get you, but when they get you, they stop.
So don't get into a relationship if it is not based on Christ himself.
Allow the word of God to bring light into every dark area of your life.
Minutes past the hour. This is Good Morning Kenya. Welcome. My name is Mike Migwe. We look at something different, and that regards the air quality, especially within Nairobi, and how data and regulation is impacting that, because air quality management is gravitating towards a combination of high-density real-time data monitoring, as well as regulations to ensure that the standards of air within the country meet the health-based standards. Because in 2019, air pollution within Nairobi, the index was indicating that it was four times higher than the recommended levels by the World Health Organization. And last year in 2025, those challenges were still there because Nairobi faced air quality challenges, and it was indicated as to be among the 10 most polluted cities in the world. That was in August of last year. So that is what we are going to look at, air quality through data and regulation within the capital. And for that conversation in studio, I'm joined by Victor Muthike, who is an air quality specialist, also from Air Quality Systems East Africa. Welcome to Good Morning Kenya.
Thank you.
And also Jacob Olonde, who is the Executive Director, Environmental Capacities and Sustainability Institute. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Now, let's get into it. And now that we are gravitating towards a combination of high density, real-time data monitoring, the first question that comes to mind, and I'll start with you, Victor, is what is the role of air quality data in all this?
So, in the past 5 years, Nairobi has come a long way. In the sense that from a regulation point of view and also from an infrastructure point of view,
yes.
The county, together with her partners, have set up a network of air quality monitors,
yes.
together with other things like policies and the air quality regulations 2022 and the action plan 2025 to 2029. So the role of data is to help government make informed policies and to help in execution of those policies.
Jacob, how would you say now that we are using, gravitating towards that route, how would you say it has impacted air quality monitoring? Especially given that now Nairobi grapples with the aspect of air pollution, especially from motorists, which contributes to around 40% of the pollution that we are talking about.
Yeah, so thank you so much. The first question is, what are we talking about in terms of air quality? We are talking about fine matter, that's PM 2.5 and yes. PM 10. We are talking about black carbon. We are talking about other gases like nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide. We are talking about carbon dioxide and the rest. So mostly what we are monitoring in Nairobi is PM 2.5 and PM 10.
Yes.
But we realize that with the data, the impact is already being seen, because in how county government and national government is using the data to inform policy decisions. And we have seen it in various ways. One is decisions on traffic management, mobility management within the city, setting aside some zoning, helping in zoning of the city where to set up industries, high emission industries, and also helped in traffic management, like we have seen, is it Luduli Avenue, where through the UN Habitat work, we have seen non-motorized pavements coming up within the city. We have also seen the air quality systems established traffic air emission monitoring at Tomboya. And we also have another location in Mama Lucy Kibaki. So all these data are now helping the county to generate not just policy and legislative frameworks, but also having budgetary allocation, because previously the county has been spending almost 10% of its health budget towards treating air pollution-related diseases. So those are some of the ways through which we have seen the county integrating air quality data in decision making.
Yes. Yeah. Now, Victor, how is this data collected, monitored, and validated?
Thank you for that very nice question. This data is collected using a myriad of different devices. And of these devices, they have different capabilities and different scopes. So from the lowest, not the lowest per se, but the most basic type of monitors are called passive samplers, which are in essence diffusion tubes. They use the simple framework of diffusion. So a gas moves from a region of low concentration to a region of high concentration, that sort of thing. And then this sampler is taken to the lab and analyzed, and an average concentration of that particular gas is determined. So that is one of the ways. And they are deployed in fairly close concentrations per se. And what they do is they just give an average or a baseline of concentration of different pollutants. So that's number one. The other one are called low-cost sensors. And low-cost sensors are electric, and they are real-time. They collect real-time data. So, for instance, what we have deployed for the city as at right now, and these ones are better because they are real-time, and they are able to give alerts and that sort of information. And then moving from that, there is now the more high-end type. They still use the same principle, but have better quality data and higher spatial coverage. So where you would need to, say, install one low-cost sensor, 5 low-cost sensors to cover that sort of spatial resolution. For these ones, they're called medium-cost sensors. And they're not so medium cost per se because they are a bit pricey, but they are good. And they measure a myriad of different parameters also. So from what Jake said, not just PM 2.5 and 10, and also the atmospherics, but they also do now the gases, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, volatile organic compounds, all those, methane, etc., etc. Now, depending on whatever configuration you would want them to, do the sampling. And then now for the most pricey and higher grade sort of monitors, they are called reference grade stations. Also reiterating from what Jake said, we have several actually around Nairobi, and they are used as reference stations, as they are called. And we have several, like in Nairobi we have like 7, but they are owned by different factions and operated by different organizations. So like the one in Fire Station, we have another one in Mama Lucy, one in UNEP, another one at the US Embassy, another one at Strathmore, and I think there's one in UNEP.
UNEP.
Yeah. So for these ones, they set the baseline, like whatever it says is whatever is taken as the true concentration of that particular parameter. So for larger networks, what you use to validate this data is you use the reference grid stations to calibrate the low-cost sensors. And let me give you an example.
Yes.
Yeah? So let's say, for instance, you have an analog watch, and I hope I don't deviate, but there's an analog watch, and let's say like the phone or a digital clock. So for the digital clock, it is harmonized globally, right? So whatever time my phone says is whatever time your phone will say, right?
Yes.
But for an analog clock, over time, it loses seconds. And in 1 week, 2 weeks, probably 1 year down the line, you'll find that we are not on the same page. So we use that that same principle to calibrate the low-cost sensors so that they give reliable and accurate data. Yes.
Jacob, when we talk about these sensors and how they are placed within the city, what determines the area that these sensors are going to be placed? How are the areas chosen? What is the determinant?
But the determinant, the decisions are made on first the First, I mentioned the zoning, because already there are some established areas, like like industrial areas. There's also the issue of population, where because one thing in policy making and legislative making is the concept of polluter pays.
Yes.
So that we must be able to put the burden on the person polluting. So that's why our focus is mainly industrial. Another thing is the issue of thematic areas. Which sector leads in emissions? So we have transport sector, we have agriculture, we have, like in Nairobi, we have agriculture waste, industrial, and also we have household, most of in low-income estates, residential areas. So those are some of the decisions. Another thing is also we call it cost. He has mentioned it. Sometimes we want to have everywhere in Nairobi covered, but as Victor has mentioned, some of these tools are costly, because already I think we are at 50 census.
Yeah, city-owned.
Yeah, city-owned. Yet we have a need for around 85 or 86%. 87. And again, 17 constituencies. So we have 17 constituencies. We need to cover 87. So that gap already determines where do we locate. So we need to prioritize based on need.
Yeah.
But again, every area in Nairobi is important. So it's just a matter of financing, availability of adequate finance to help acquire more census. Another area we can call it the need for data. We have universities, as Victor has mentioned. We have UNEP. So they will want to, people in UNEP will want to know real-time data from their reliable source. So already we have data disintegration. There are data piled everywhere, which again, it's not about trust. I don't know whether it's trust between partners, because everybody wants to trust their own data. But I think there are already calls for integration to helping with the calibration, so that once UNEP says this is it, then the iLab in Strathmore could also be able to confirm the same, and the same data sensor at Mamalusi could also collaborate the same.
Yeah, and that would be very important, because also UNEP is the United Nations Environmental Program.
Yeah.
And that could be very important when it comes to harmonization of data, so that we can have one data that is reliable. Now, Victor, you look at the action plan within Nairobi. It's focusing or relying on gravitating towards real-time monitoring and, a city-owned data system. So my question is, why does that make data ownership a big deal, especially when it comes to governance of air quality within the city?
So within the framework of policy and regulation,
yes,
as per the 2010 Constitution, you'll see that air quality, I think environmental management is a devolved function, right?
Yeah.
So for that matter alone, then by constitutional right, the city is allowed, the city is mandated to, do enforcement and management of pollution within its territory. But you'll find that this has not been it, because number one, the city did not have capacity. But like I said, the past 5 years, 7 to 5 years, have been very pivotal in moving the city towards that direction of now owning that thing that they have been mandated by the Constitution.
Yeah.
So the action plan helps the city. It's like a roadmap to helping the city be self-sufficient in air quality management and matters enforcement and such like things.
Yes, Jacob, that is very important. That's a very important point, because it also now also touches on decision making, which now begs this question: at what point does this data now morph from just being information and become a decision making tools? And where do you think a city like Nairobi may struggle in making that transition?
Yeah, so thank you so much. As Victor said, when we talk about capacity, we are talking about data capacity. We are talking about human resource, we are talking about financial capacity, we are talking about policy capacity.
Yes.
But when we talk about, when we read Schedule 4 of the Constitution, it mandates the national government to provide capacity support,
yes,
to help counties transition their roles and mandates.
Yes.
So already, as Victor has mentioned, initially it was just NEMA doing this, having this responsibility.
Yes.
But now with the counties, and one thing that I've always liked when I worked for counties, for COG, was that we were being told counties don't have the capacity. So when we want, guys are demanding for this responsibility, for this mandate, you will mess up. But over time, we have seen now with the legislations in Nairobi City County, having the legislations, having the regulations, having the policies in place, having partners like Breathe Cities, having research institutions coming up to support the work. So we already seen the call for, not just the call, but an prioritization in terms of resource allocation.
Yes.
We have seen issues of enhanced compliance. So it's no longer hard compliance, where you are arrested for emission, pollution, but about assisted compliance. So because there's air quality monitored systems. So you are being told this last week you are at 50, this week you are at 40. So you are progressing. So it's not about somebody coming to close your industry because you are polluting.
I think what is on the screen is one of the sensors that is used in monitoring air quality.
Yes.
So what is that device?
So it is what I had previously tried to sort of explain.
Yes.
In the sense that we have the low-cost sensors, not the low-cost sensors passive, but the passive samplers, which are so-called spies of air quality.
Yes.
And then the small gadget that was seen, that is actually a reference station, but it is for indoor air pollution, and with special enclosure, then it turns out, it becomes a sort of an indicative station for PM 2.5. And also there is also a low-cost sensor there. Yeah.
Oh. Very interesting, very interesting. And Jacob, what would you say are the impediments to integrating data into how air pollution and air quality is governed?
First is what we call low awareness. Air quality data is scientific. But impacts are also largely scientific.
Yes.
Because air pollution kills you slowly.
Yeah.
So somebody will say, I don't care. As long as I'm paying rent cheap, I don't care what happens. But over time, somebody dies. So low awareness. Most people don't know how air pollution affects them at personal level. Number two, that also calls for, once you are aware, then you can hold county government and national government duty holders responsible and accountable. You can demand for services. You can demand for action. So low awareness. Number two is the issue of lack of monitoring at hotspots. So already we have hotspots, like I mentioned, the issues of slums. We have issues of illegal burning. I usually say, issues around Mukuru, Donholm.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you pass there, you see heavy smoke in the evening. So that costs more damage. But again, it's about enforcement. So enforcement has been impacted largely by lack of policy and action. But now, through goodwill, I think Governor Sakaja has been in this for the longest, and the Nairobi City County fraternity has owned up interventions. So already, initially, we might have said lack of goodwill, but already we have seen it. The county is in it. Another issue is the data accuracy and calibration. I think that's all been touched with by Victor.
Yeah.
Then siloed data. The University of Nairobi GeoHealth. I think there is not yet a centralized data platform where you can run to and say, I want data for Nairobi,
so it's
and
fragmented.
get it. So everybody, there's fragmentation of data, which makes somehow decision-making difficult. Mostly when you are in the policy setup and you want to draft a policy, there are always those arguments of, should we go with this or should we go with this? But already with the integrated data system for the Nairobi City County, that I think will be solved. Then lack of long-term data. Most of the data available are short-term. We are just told today, 2 weeks.
Yes.
And now stretching that to tell you what will happen in 5-10 years is still an issue. Then finally, I think there is lack of sustained maintenance and cost and training, which drives to capacity, what Victor said. But I think the city already having staff dedicated to air quality monitoring as part of the environmental ward level sub-county environment officers.
Yeah.
So I think one of their responsibilities is also air quality monitoring and not just monitoring, but also compliance and enforcement. So I think that will help manage those gaps.
Victor, when you look at how waste is managed within the city, would you say is it lack of policy or goodwill in as far as waste management is concerned? Because it is one of the pollutants that we are talking about when it comes to air quality within the city.
Yeah, open waste burning contributes to approximately 25% of the pollution that is experienced in Nairobi. And it is a complex issue, so to say, spiraling from a policy deadlocks. Also, the fact that there was also poor zoning and lack of enforcement for the open waste burners. And for this particular issue, it is a policy, it needs a policy answer, because policy is king. And I can give you an example on the same, on the waste management bit. If you can remember back in 2017, there was, we were still using plastic paper bags, right? And then one day after the NEMA did their thing and they consulted with the right people and also within their own circles, and a gazette notice was issued and people were given 90 days to transition. And 1 year down the line, the use of plastic bags was almost completely eradicated. And we transitioned to now the biodegradable paper bags that we use currently. And that just shows how policy is king, so to say. And most of the issues that we are facing, especially matters, pollution and environmental management, just need a little nudge from the policy side. Yeah, so
is it the policy side, or there's an aspect of enforcement that needs to be nudged, as he's putting it?
I think you cannot enforce without goodwill. That's the struggle most of the government officers struggle with. That's the reality. because everything you do is somehow political. Politics is embedded in almost all spheres of our life in Kenya. I usually say this, that there's a time I worked for Nairobi City County when I was in first year.
Yes.
And I was responsible for Embakasi waste management, waste collections. I moved around Dandora, everywhere, the large Embakasi district. And I can tell you that when people talk about everything else, I usually say it is management of waste in Nairobi is a multi-stakeholder thing.
Okay, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We are going to take a short break and you'll come back to that point of a multi-stakeholder thing, that approach that needs to be used in this approach. So we take a short break. We'll be right back with this conversation.
Nataka uongee na vijana wenzako wachukue kura kwa wingi. A big announcement coming. Inatuhusu sisi vijana katika hiki kijiji.
Umeng'arang'ara sana bwana Vipi leo unakwenda kumwangalia Matilda?
Wewe mambo hospitalini kabisa.
Na moja inatoka pesa ngapi?
Moja ni 35k tu.
Mbona usiziweke kwako?
Unajua mimi ni mtu wa mashughuli hapa hivi na pale.
Bwana asifiwe. Nikusaidie vipi?
Hii NGO ni ya Amerika.
Hilo jambo zuri sana.
Unajua siku moja utakuja kunihitaji wewe.
Wapi?
Na salimia dada Monica.
Wananitagundu wakita wengine mkai ya mkiaro inabidi umeibembeleza. Kama neno mob ama ukimbie man si utaipoteza.
Why do we attract the wrong people? So why are we attracted to people who hurt us?
So you've grown up in a very maybe abusive environment and now you're looking for familiarity.
Your relationship inafaa kuwork because the both of you want it to work.
They put in so much effort to get you, but when they get you, they stop.
So don't get into a relationship if it is not based on Christ himself.
Allow the word of God to bring light into every dark area of your life.
Prostate cancer remains as one of the leading cancers amongst men and is responsible for taking many lives and leaving scores of survivors.
The doctor opened it. I was looking at him. Then I saw his face change a bit. But for us laymen, the word cancer spells doom. The word cancer is death.
Being physically active, avoiding obesity, good diet, mainly red meat also linked to the onset of aggressive forms of prostate cancer, so reducing the red meat intake.
We went to India, he had the cyber knife, and that is the time, from that time, we had been close even before.
Yeah.
But I think this brought us even closer.
All treatment options are available locally, okay? Yeah. So there is no need for the patients to travel abroad for the treatment also.
Welcome back to Good Morning Kenya. This is KBC Channel 1 and we are talking about air quality through data and regulation in the capital. And Jacob, you're talking about a multi-stakeholder approach to this matter. Continue on that point.
Yeah, so thank you once again. As I was mentioning, the waste management issue in Nairobi is a multi-stakeholder issue. In that when I work, there are players who do not even understand what policy is. So it's about interests vis-a-vis policy. In that there is a waste generator, you, in your house.
Yes.
You eat, you put your waste in the plastic bag, and then you take it to the dustbin or you put it outside your door. Somebody will come for it. There's somebody who comes for it, who puts it at the sub-collection center within the estate.
Yeah.
There's the mkokoteni guy who comes and collects it from your house, transports it there. There's a vehicle owner, waste manager, who will come with this vehicle, lorry, to transport this waste to Dandora. There's a guy who picks this waste from the site, throw it into the car, into the lorry, transport it to Dandora. On the way, they are sorting the waste already. The sorting is processed on.
Yeah.
Reaching Dandora, there is somebody who manages the site. This person is also a shareholder.
Yes.
Then once you dump it, there are waste sorters again. So then there's the land ownership issue.
Yes.
So that's why we are saying that you can generate very nice policies. But if you lack goodwill, and if you don't bring all stakeholders to the table and make them understand based on data now, that actually now it is very interesting. There is a site the Nairobi City County already developed, I think, where you can have real data.
Yes.
You can prick and say, Madare, show me Madare, show me Langata. So this is what already will be helping. When we meet these stakeholders, we show them, guys, yes, you are looking at money, you have interest in this, but this is how the waste you guys are mismanaging is impacting the lives of Nairobians. So that's why I'm saying that as much as we policymakers, we generate very nice policies, we recommend very nice implementation frameworks, but without bringing all the stakeholders to the table, and not just bringing them, but making them understand their contribution, we might miss the target. So I'm calling for integrated approaches in terms of data integration, and bringing all the stakeholders to the table.
And more importantly, the goodwill.
The goodwill.
To implement
the
political
goodwill. So there are votes and there are lives and there are stakeholders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which also, Victor, brings about the aspect of balancing the environmental protection and economic activity. How is that achieved?
Let me give you an example.
Yes.
Let's take a random street in Nairobi, a busy street, let's say like Tomboya or Moi, and we have traffic officers and traffic marshals from the county, and we have all these, we have traders, we have the touts, everybody within the matatu industry.
Yes.
And also the roadside traders along the same routes, right? So take all these people who are heavily reliant on how busy or not the street is, and look at it from now a health perspective.
Yes.
You come to the CBD daily for say 10 years. You're exposed to all these pollutants, black carbon, carbon monoxide, especially near roadsides, carbon monoxide, CO2, PM2.5, all these things for that specific period of time. And the health effects of these pollutants outweighs whatever it is you are doing there. Because at the end of the day, your health is affected, and PM2.5 along with all these other pollutants are directly linked to cardiovascular and pulmonary infections and diseases, and also like Jake and also I think yourself mentioned, a good chunk of the national and the county budget is allocated to I think 10% is allocated to respiratory issues.
Yes.
And if implementation and proper policy follow through is done, then these monies will be redirected elsewhere. for betterment of the lives and quality of lives of Nairobians and Kenyans in general. Yeah.
Jacob, you know, Nairobi is not the only city in the world. We have more developed cities, and such efforts of ensuring that the air quality meets the World Health Organization standards is done. What would you say are the lessons that a city like Nairobi can derive from such cities?
One is goodwill first. Once the political leaders with the reality on the ground will help with the enforcement. And also, number two is what we call targeted compliance. With the data, you can be able now to say industry A needs to comply. So we avoid blanket compliance. So we call it hard compliance, where you go close. So as much as we want clean air, we must transition justly. So justly call for workers' rights. A worker should not fall sick because of pollution. And workers here, we are talking about the Juakali, we talk about office workers, we are talking about government employees. Number two is what we call the role of public data portal.
Yeah.
Once data is accessible to everyone, decision making will be easy. Then we call data informed, evidence-based decision making. So evidence-based decision making, as Victor has mentioned, Nairobi City County needs around 192 million USD between 2023 and 2050 to address air quality related illnesses. Now, other countries, they have the budgetary allocation, but other countries, they have public awareness. Information is everywhere, and there's public compliance. Public compliance is that yourself, how do you manage your waste? There are these guys who just throw things off the windows of moving vehicles, thinking that once it rolls, then it will disappear. It's the same thing that will find itself in Dandora, and it will be banned by the waste pickers, and then it will come back to affect you. So in terms of targeted and enhanced compliance, what the lessons we pick is there's need for adoption of clean energy, that we need to zero rate clean energy, clean cooking, I don't know how to call them, technologies.
Yes.
So that the people who are still using paraffin, still using charcoal, should be able to transit into more clean sources. Number two is the issue of waste management. I think we have talked about that. Sustainable transportation. We just launched our e-mobility policy yesterday, and we are targeting 40% because transport sector is doing 40% emissions.
Emissions, yes.
It's the leading emitter. So with the e-mobility policy, I think we'll be able to reduce on that. Issues of awareness, advocacy. We need targeted advocacy and use community-based advocacy. We have a partner called Kikaka, which is doing very good using art to disseminate air quality related information. We have gender integration. We have partners like Roots Kenya, who is also doing very good with women and air quality. We have citizen science. Citizen science is where citizens are used for validating data. First, they could be able to help in generating, but also validating data, in that because they have lived experiences. So what works in other countries is that citizens themselves should be able to report and hold governments to account. So use of citizen data, and also we call it ground truthing. When you say there is increased emissions in Mukuru, what do you mean as a researcher at the University of Nairobi? So it's a matter of going to the ground and listening to the people themselves, how the poor quality air is impacting their lives. So based on those experiences, I think we'll be able to address the issues of legal reporting of legal activities. Because what happens when you see a burning site? Because what we avoid is generating policies which adds burden, financial burden to industries. Because when you say we are going to increase cost of permitting, we are going to increase cost of licensing, we are going to increase cost of, to increase fees. Once you do that, then the cost of commodities will rise, and you will no longer enable the poor in the city to access some commodities. So best practice is that we have targeted compliance, but again ensure that we protect the vulnerable. The vulnerable here, we have children, we have the old, we have the sick, and we even have men
and expectant mothers.
And expectant mothers.
Yeah.
So protecting the vulnerable is a responsibility not just for government, but for every citizen in the city.
Which actually brings me to the next question, because we have looked at the efforts of like what the county is doing. But then again, Victor, from your perspective, in as far as air quality is concerned, the role of city residents in ensuring that also they are playing a part in ensuring that their breathing is quality.
Now, Mike, that's an interesting question. And also as a citizen of this great city, I think it boils down to the fact that air is invisible. And unlike other waste management or other types of waste like water and especially water, you cannot drink colored water. Huwezi kunywa maji chafu ukiona. But for air and air quality in that line, most of the most dangerous pollutants are not as smelly. So it's not just the air that makes you choke that is harmful to you. So it is up to us as Nairobians and as citizens, and up to the city also, to increase efforts in sensitization of the public, so that everybody understands what the true health risk is. Because if you don't, and Jacob will tell you, once you get into this space, air quality is very, how do I put it, radicalizing.
Yes.
In the sense that now once you get to really understand what goes down when you breathe certain substances, then something in your mind changes, and that is what we need to do to the larger public, to make them understand that if you do this is what you expect. If you do this is what you expect. Yeah, that will be my take.
How would you say, so far with the efforts that have been done, how do you rate the public awareness in terms of matters to do with this data and air quality?
So far, with the efforts that the partners that we have a lot of effort and a lot of money has been pumped into public awareness. And I think within, say, the last 5 years, I think we have changed, and we have seen a lot of action. Even the president, I think 2 years ago, hosted the first, I think, African climate forum, and that was a big deal, and that opened many other forums from global partners like the Clean Air Fund, Breathe Cities, C40 Cities, Bloomberg Philanthropies, and all these other players. And I think public awareness right now is better than it was 5 years ago. I can't quantify how much, but I think we are in the right direction.
We have made steps.
Yes.
Okay. Jacob, 2 things. Public visibility of pollution data. Can that change behavior of people towards matters to do with air pollution? And also, how should a capital city like Nairobi now design data platforms so that they inform the public rather than alarm them?
Yeah, I think we have moved from alarms to sensitization, where you are told if you don't do this, 5,000 are going to die. Yeah. But data don't lie, because already we are aware that we lose 2,500 to 8,000 lives annually as a result of pollution. Let me use that. Air-related poor air quality.
Yes.
So with that information, that's not alarming. That's truth. That's a fact. So how do we now integrate this fact in creating awareness? And not just that, but with awareness now we could be able to do things like zoning. The Nairobi City County is working on air quality regulation, which will be able to help issues with zoning, issues to do with the transboundary air quality control, because sometimes the pollution is in Kajiado, but the wind blows this direction and brings it to Nairobi. Other issues we are also going to deal with is the issue of enforcement by county. So giving the county officers more power to enforce, and not just enforce, but to mainstream compliance among the polluters. So for me, I will say that one of the things that will work for us is stakeholder collaboration. We need to ensure that more stakeholders get into the space. Another thing is expanding the network, the sensors, increasing the number of sensors. I think Makerere University has been doing a good job, and iLab and the rest of them. But when it comes to awareness, and we must go local. And I think there's a study which was done by our partner Kusudi, Kusudi Communications, which really brought, they had a very nice presentation where community members, speaking to community members, and they are sharing their lived experiences, saying before this action was taken, this is what was happening. Because of this, because of the county's intervention, we have already started seeing children are no longer getting sick. We are no longer just becoming sick frequently. So with that kind of information, then the county could be able to know what kind of intervention to employ. And I think also we have already the county action plan, which I think we have talked about, seeking to do 51% reduction by 2035 or 45 something. So with those policy frameworks, the policies there, we have the Act is still there in 2020, the Act 2022, and the portal and the systems. So I think the county is ready to ensure that people know what they need to know. And I think it's the responsibility of the public to go for information, to seek for information, because the information, as we used to say, there's issue with the accessibility. Now on your phone, you can be able to know whether when you leave your house, is it going to rain in town? You don't wait for KMD. And we thought that's where we want to reach with the air quality, that we should be able to monitor air quality using our phones and get real-time data and make decisions based on how the decision will be. So that when I know Tomboya will be at peak at this particular time of the
during rush hour.
During rush hour, I don't need to go that side of the town at that particular time. When I know that I have a respiratory terminal or some complication, I don't need to stay in some estates. So upon the county through zoning, I don't know how it will be, but I think I was thinking of it that setting aside some estates free from pollution, where the elderly and children with terminal illnesses could move towards and say, so that it's not about income-based choices, where you live at a place based on how much you earn, but it should be how much vulnerable, based on vulnerability. If you're vulnerable, then the county should be able to help you make decisions on where to stay within the city based on information and based on zoning.
Also, I think maybe just to weigh in on Jacob's point on that.
Yes.
For instance, like Langata. Langata is upwind, and it's a residential area, but the figures there are for a place like Mlolongo, where it is heavily industrialized, but the residents of Langata are disproportionately affected because of upwind pollution from areas like Mlolongo and Athi River. Yeah.
So finally, now we are using data to monitor levels of pollution. But then again, when you look at accountability, and I'm taking this as your closing remarks, if data shows persistent air pollution, who should be held accountable? Is it the regulator, the polluters, or even the political leaders, or the three of that cohort? Let me start with you.
I think, as I mentioned, we can talk about goodwill, we can talk about, but you cannot police the citizens. You cannot just employ enough policemen or county officers to deal with issues to do with air quality. It must be top-down. Top-down in terms of goodwill, but bottom-up in terms of response. So it is the responsibility of the citizens to demand, but not just demand, but also contribute towards realizing the aspirations of the clean air. Because the partners can bring as much financing as possible. The counties can employ as many officers as possible. But if we ourselves, the citizens, if somebody still feels that the chuma in a tire is valuable, that he must burn the tire, he must go around the city collecting old tires to go and burn so that he can get the wires. Then now that's where we start. What alternatives do we have for this person so that he can transition from the business as usual, the business he knows, to more moderate and cleaner income source, so that we don't just say shift, transition, achana na hii kazi, tafuta ingine. Yet that's what he has been born knowing. So how do we create more opportunities for people in such income generating opportunities to more greener? Another area that I will be able to talk about is that when it comes to policy, then let's localize our policies. Think globally, act locally. Air quality is local, air quality is personal.
Very much true. Victor, like the question I asked, who should be held accountable? The regulators, pollutants, or the political leaders?
So the law provides for, I think it is, again, it is a multi-stakeholder thing, and all these players have different roles within that framework. And it is the role of the regulator to ensure that producers and manufacturers are compliant and do not exceed. And it is also the role of the manufacturers and producers and the polluters, so to say, that they are not they are not polluting. And it is the role of the citizens, the normal mwananchi, the common mwananchi like myself and myself, to ensure that we report these things. We take personal responsibility for our own actions. We transition from fossil fuels to cleaner fuels that do not harm our health.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right. That is Jacob Olonde, who is the Executive Director, Environmental Capacities and Sustainability Institute, and also Victor Muthike, who is an air quality specialist from Air Quality Systems East Africa, speaking to us about matters to do with air quality through data and regulation within the capital. This conversation ends here. My name is Mike Migwe. Thank you for tuning in to Good Morning Kenya. Vivian Degwa is up next with Women at the Forefront.
Want to enjoy free-to-air digital TV with crystal clear quality? Here's how to get started with Signet. Step 1. If you have a smart TV, you're good to go. Next, connect the aerial to your TV. Now, do an auto search on your TV. Just follow the prompts on the screen. And that's it. You're now tuned in to Signet. Sit back and enjoy a wide range of free-to-air digital channels. For technical inquiries, call the Signet hotline on 0770 572 656.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with our music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Nataka uongee na vijana wenzako wachukue kura kwa wingi. A big announcement coming. Inatuhusu sisi vijana katika hiki kijiji.
Umeng'arang'ara sana bwana Vipi leo unakwenda kumwangalia Matilda?
Wewe mambo hospitalini kabisa.
Na moja natoka pesa ngapi?
Moja ni 35k tu.
Bona usiziweke kwako.
Unajua mimi ni mtu wa mashughuli hapa hivi na pale.
Bwana asifiwe.
Nikusaidie vipi?
Hii NGO ni ya Amerika.
Hilo jambo zuri sana.
Unajua siku moja utakuja kunihitaji wewe.
Wapi?
Na salimia dada Monica.
Wananitagundu wakita wengine.
It's nice to see you.
I think our angel is not ready for this world yet. That's why we should keep waiting.
Tunavuna French beans.
Kisha tunaangazia upanzi ama kilimo cha mboga za asili.
Kilimo sio mbaya. Kilimo iko na ina manufaa sababu ina pesa. Ukilima na ulime vile chakula inatakiwa kupandwa, weke mbolea, weke kila kitu. Kama wewe ni mwanzilishi, utaona faida na utaona utatoka bure.
Ungana nasi Jumamosi hii saa 10:30 hapa KBC Channel 1
kwa mseto kamili wa kilimo.
Jibu kadi mheshimiwa, hii yenye huyu ameuliza.
Wewe jibu ule mshtakiwa wa kwanza ule huko.
Inalingana ni saa ngapi unataka kuipa mwenzangu. Ukitaka kuipa mchana, it's still possible. Ukitaka kuipa kama unaonekana na Mungu usiku, it's still possible.
Usiingie kwa kesi ambayo
mheshimiwa.
Wewe unajua hata wewe sasa unatakana ukue upande hivi.
Exactly. Bora
una kiherehere sana. Ngoja.
Wewe uone hapa iko Kiswahili anachezwa. Wewe ananunua pesa
kitu yenyewe walikuwa wakija wakichukua mchana.
Kesi ni ngumu, mtafunga nyinyi wote mchunge vile mnaongea. Excuse me.
Ulikuwa na receipt.
Excuse me, I'm not an office, my friend, I'm not an office.
Wewe.
I'm just a nightmare.
Wewe.
Excuse me.
Ati wewe ni nightmare.
Tamka hii ya mapiano inabidi umeibembeleza. Kama neno mob ama ukimbie man si utaipoteza.
Why do we attract the wrong people? So why are we attracted to people who hurt us?
So you've grown up in a very maybe abusive environment and now you're looking for familiarity.
Your relationship inafaa kuwork because the both of you want it to work.
They put in so much effort to get you, but when they get you, they stop.
So don't get into a relationship if it is not based on Christ himself.
Allow the word of God to bring light into every dark area of your life.
women at the forefront, it is. And today we have a lady who is in predominantly, you know, a male-dominated field, you know, and her name is Kathy Andrews. She is the director, My Wood Trading Company, and she's here to just share with us her journey. We get to look at her journey, which is a journey of resilience and purpose, just to ensure that we are inspiring the next generation of women, specifically those who would love to join her field as well. Welcome to the program, Kathy.
Thank you very much, Vivian.
How are you doing this morning?
Very, very well.
You're doing well.
Asante.
All right, great. Let's first begin with you letting us know what My Wood Trading Company is all about. What do you do there?
Just as the name sounds, we are into timber selling business.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what we do most, and that is what we are known for.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you sell timber?
Yes.
All right.
We sell timber.
All right. I would love to know where that journey began. But let's first begin with, you know, let's just go way back into your growing up. How would you say your growing up has shaped the person you are right now? And if you can just let us in on the details.
Okay.
Yeah.
I grew up like any other, you know, normal kid. Very humble beginning. That is where we all started. And it wasn't an easy journey, as most of us African families. But what is more important is how you see the whole thing and what are you doing about it. Mm-hmm. So we come from a very, very humble background. Yes, and that is why we really work so hard to make sure we make it in life. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So from when you were a younger girl, did you know that this is the path you would love to take, or, you know, how did you get to that side?
Not really. I never knew I would be selling timber in 20 years to come, but it's an opportunity that I got, and you know, the way you grab the opportunity and run with it,
Yeah.
that is exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
You took the opportunity and
Yes.
you ran with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was employed in one timber yard back home. That is where I got the own knowledge and the skills, and you know, you conceive ideas from some funny places, and that's where it's all began. Mm-hmm. And it's made me who I am today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, before we even get to that bit of your life, you know, where you were employed, you know, at some timber yard, and then that's where you got the inspiration to start your own. Immediately after Form 4, you were in the Mali business. So
Yes.
take us through that.
Let me tell you, Vivian, even before I got to Mali, I started with timber. I was immediately I cleared high school.
Okay.
I got an opportunity to work in a timber yard.
That was before the Mali.
Yes, before the Mali.
Okay.
And then I remember there's this ban, a timber ban that came, and you know, down there in Meru, people never knew you can actually go and get wood from, you know, other countries and come and sell here. I mean, they never knew about importation kind of a thing. They only believed in, you know, what we've bought from our own forest. So when the ban came in, you know, there's no harvesting, there's no selling, there's nothing happening. So we literally closed down the shop. So when we closed down the shop, what happened? We go home, all of us. So I had to you know, to keep going. That's when now I came and joined my sister here in Nairobi.
Yeah.
That is where Mali started now. Yes.
That's how you got into the Mali side.
That is how now I started selling these small things.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, you mentioned about the ban, and you know, I had a question on those same lines. The timber business. Sometimes people may look at it as, you are the people who are destroying our forests. You know, you are the people who are really, really destroying our forests. What would you say concerning that? And how do you ensure, even as you are in this business, you are also not, you know, part of the deforestation?
Okay. Maybe to correct you on that, we do not destroy. trees get to maturity points, which has to be harvested. Otherwise, they add no value. They end up, rotten and stuff like that. But once the trees are mature for harvesting, that is where now we come in. But I'm not a sawmiller. I'm not a sawmiller. I'm just a retailer. So the government sells the trees to the sawmillers so that they can, clear the old ones and then they plant the new ones. It is not a deforestation as, majority of us have it. No, it's not. It has to be harvested if it gets to maturity, level, and then they plant a new new trees. Yes.
All right. Okay, so at least for those who, look at that kind of business as, destroying our environment and all, at least you've put it out there. You've helped them understand how that business works.
Yes.
It's trees that are there for that.
Yeah.
They're purposely there for that kind of work and business.
Exactly. And it's also another form of, the government makes money from that as well. They have to plant, sell, as they make some few money from that.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, so you started this business, or you got the inspiration from being employed into the same business.
Yes.
So how would you say, that journey has been like for you? From now you are employed, you are under someone, to now deciding I'm actually going to start my own yard. So was there a particular moment that sparked that in you?
Let me tell you, when I was working for my former boss, I remember I was literally doing everything. I was the accountant, I was the salesperson, I was procuring, I was literally doing everything that, I could have done.
Yeah.
And one time I was telling myself, I think, you could see even the profits that are coming, the margins are really nice, the growth, you can also see the, the pace, the growth that is coming, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I don't know how, I don't know where, but I knew one day, one time, I'm going to set my own timber yard. So I got a lot of knowledge from that, and that is what, I'm living with today.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you just saw those profit margins
I
and
know.
you were like, oh.
Again, you see, you don't want to be in employment forever.
Yeah.
You also need to grow at some point. So I felt it was really a good business to venture into.
Yeah.
Yes.
What sacrifices would you say you had to make, for you now to start your own?
Of course, a lot of sacrifices. You being, by then when I was starting the timber yard, I was a young mom. You literally put some things aside so that you can, start your own business, and you know what it means by starting up a business. It's quite something. It needs a lot of attention, a lot of money, a lot of, you really need to sacrifice a lot, even your own time, so that you can see the business kick off and get stable. Yes.
Yeah. So you had to sacrifice a lot.
Yes, we did. And, going to the forest, looking for timber, it's quite something. Yeah, and very, very tiring. Yes.
Yeah. So you started off alone, or you already had a team in place?
I started all alone, alone. I remember when I was starting, I didn't even have an office. I needed to, you just come in, offload one truck. You're there, no machineries, no transport, no nothing. So it's you and your timber. So, but you see now the vision was bigger than, the beginning. So we started, I started in a very funny small space. Yes. And later we came, buying machineries, buying pickups, buying tracks in until where we are today. Yes.
Yeah. It's one would say that it's a space where it's mainly male dominated. I don't know, I'm just speaking from someone who's looking from the outside in, but you're in it. Is it male dominated? And maybe how is that like in terms of you maneuvering? Is it easier or is it harder?
Being male dominated.
Is it male dominated?
Yes, it is. And it's made it so easy for me to maneuver. You know, when you're working with men as a woman, it's a bit easy, and for me, it was really easy for me because people, if you look at construction industry, majority of people that we find there are men, and they tend to trust women more easily than men. So my sliding in was very easy, and people really accepted me because I gave them exactly what they were looking for.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it being male dominated actually made it easier for you. It was an advantage for you as a woman in this business that does not have many women in it.
Yes. You see, now with women, there's organization. We make sure the quality is there. We make sure we deliver on time. We make sure, things run smoothly when you work with women more than when you work with a man. Yeah. So, and you know, with the construction site, they are looking at the timeline. You need to deliver on time. You need to deliver the quality, the type that is needed. So with women, we're a bit keen on those things. Yes. Yeah. So it was really so easy for me to work with them.
Yeah.
And they really accepted me. Yes, they did.
Yeah. How scarce are women in that business?
Right now, they aren't. We have a lot of women who have come in to sell wood, and looking around, we have a lot of engineers, women engineers, we have architects, we have, construction industry is growing and women are really coming in very, very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, when exactly did you begin?
This is my 7th year.
Your 7th year.
Yeah.
So from the time you were starting 7 years ago to date, you feel like more women have joined the industry?
A lot of them. Yeah. Majority. I even have my own, people that have really mentored, and they keep saying this is what we want to do. Others are coming in, others are already here. I've mentored a lot of young women, and we are so many of us right now. Yes.
Would you say that this is part of your purpose?
Yes, I love mentoring women, and I also love it when women, venture into male-dominated, and I love it because the way they do things are quite different, and I love it when I see women make their own money. Yes.
When it comes to mentoring, how do you spot who to mentor? Or do they just come to you? Are they people who are already working for you, so that's your part of their mentorship? Or how do you go about that?
Majority of them, people that I've worked with. In fact, majority of them are people that I've worked with. And you also find people coming, for advices from you. You just hold their hand. So if you see someone coming, to you, it means they are really interested in, and they mean what they are looking for.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't you hold their hand? Yeah. So I love it. I love holding their hand and making sure that they're on their trail. Yeah.
You would definitely advise more women to join that field?
And also other fields, other male-dominated. We tend to do very, very well in male-dominated spaces. Yes.
Are there moments where you felt like, you could quit? Are there moments when things were difficult? You were like, I can see your face. For such moments, how do you come out still standing strong and your business still standing 7 years on?
Let me tell you, Vivian, sometimes you want to, throw everything behind and forget about whatever you did. I have gone through, you know, a lot of challenges. Others are, they come extreme. Others are, you know, I don't know how I can really explain that, but many a times that you feel like quitting. You run broke, you know, you're there. But now when you look at, just as I said, when, you know, success doesn't come easily. It's what is the purpose for everything that you're doing? Yeah. So most of the time, yes, we do feel that way, and I believe it is not only me. A lot of entrepreneurs feel that. Others will even go sit in their car and cry, you know, like what they, you know. Yeah, but we keep moving on because we know nothing comes in a gold platter. We have to work. Yes.
So what keeps you going?
What keeps me going is I love let me say this, I love financial freedom. I know I have a lot of people who are looking up to me, and I also hate limitations when it comes to finances. So I really have to put my hands into work.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, you're just honest. Like it's the money. It's the money that keeps me going. Because when I stop, then what?
Then what? Then what will
after
happen? You have kids.
Yeah.
You have beneficiaries. So you really need to keep moving. Yes.
Yeah. Because you know, I mean, there's no other way. This is your way. So
yeah, and that's what I know best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do best.
Yeah.
So I keep moving.
Yeah.
Yes.
How different or how much have you grown since the moment you began to this point where, you know, your business is what it is right now? How would you say your growth has been over time? You know, are there lessons that you had to learn along the way? Yeah, just let us in on that.
How come again? What was the question?
Yeah, just if you can just take us through your growth since the moment the business began. You said it was just somewhere. It was just somewhere, you know, to the point where it is right now, where it's fully fledged business, you know, and all of that. Maybe are there lessons that you had to learn along the way that you can share with someone who may need the lessons?
So first thing first, when I was doing my market research, I noticed a lot of gaps. And those are exactly what I put a lot of effort on, and I really worked on the gaps that were there in the market. And when I noticed the kind of gaps that are there, that is when now I was ready to run with the market. And it was so easy for me to, when I identified the gaps, it was so easy for me to come in properly. One, I came in with a very competitive pricing. That was the first thing. By the way, if anyone is starting a business, just make sure you do a proper market research. What is missing where? So I did a very good, I came up with a very good prices, very competitive in fact, in a way that everyone flocked, literally came to us. Yes. So that was the first thing. The second thing, we really put our effort into marketing. We marketed really, really well. So if you're starting a business, make sure you market your product the way it's supposed to be done. Yes.
Yeah. So you just can't come in blindly.
No, you can't. You really need to know who is your target market. How are you going to satisfy the market that is there? And I mean, if you get them right, you're good to go. Yes.
Yeah. And I love that you said you took your time to just study the market.
Yes, I did.
And then after studying the market, you knew exactly what to do.
Yes.
Work on your pricing. Let everyone come to you because your prices are good.
Exactly.
And then now when they come, it means now they get to know about my wood trading company. They get to know about it. So that's also how they spread word out there that there's this place.
And let me tell you, when we learned the gaps that were there, we didn't even know where people were coming from. We were getting calls from right, left, and center.
Yeah.
We want to work with you. Can you come up with a plan that we can be working together with you guys? And we were, yeah. What do you want? How do you want us to, partner on this one?
Yeah.
So projects were coming from all over. Major projects. We started seeing the major developers coming to us. We started seeing contractors, private developers, and everyone was coming simply because we were easy to work with. And then remember, our business is more of a jua kali. And jua kali, there are no systems, there are no structures, there are no, they're just there.
Yeah.
But we package ourselves really well so that we can be able to work with everyone. Yes.
And that has been working for you.
And that is what worked for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
How would you say you do your marketing now to put yourself out there?
Everywhere. Like we turn every table. We don't leave any unturned. We do marketing across everywhere, on the ground, social media, everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, like everywhere that you may think of. Yes.
You don't leave any stone unturned.
Yeah. We make sure it is well done.
Yeah. I know we mentioned a bit about purpose, but what would you say, or how would you define purpose in your work?
How would I define purpose in my work?
Yeah.
I mean, the major purpose for us is more of expansion. We're looking at expansion. We're looking at mentoring more. Personally, I'm looking at mentoring more younger women. That is where I feel my purpose is. But we also want to, for expansion, we also want to bring in more employment. And we feel that is what we can do for the community.
Yeah. Are there changes maybe you would love to see in this industry?
Changes that I want to see. I would want to see people working differently. Our line of business has got I don't know what to say, sifa mbaya. In other words, we have sifa mbaya because majority of people say, oh, you guys, we've had a lot of bad experiences with team buyers, so we are all categorized together. But I really, whoever is coming in to do timber, I just tell them, do your work with honesty. That is what will take you to the next level. Yeah, so we have people out there who are really malicious and they're doing some funny businesses.
Yeah.
So let us do the job the way it's supposed to be done. Yeah.
You do your things in a way that
with honesty. Definitely, that is how you're gonna grow. But if you do
dodgy businesses,
yes,
then the business won't be able to sustain itself long enough. You might do the dodgy business, and get whatever you want, but what about the long run?
Exactly.
And I'm sure for most entrepreneurs and business people, you look at the long run.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, I'm sure you've thought about my wood trading maybe 10 years from now.
Yes.
Where would you be? How would you love the business to be running and all of that? So, yeah, I agree with you on, in that. So now as a leader in that space, because you're a leader in that space, when it comes to timber and even in your business itself, would you say there's a way you're leading differently?
I can say yes.
How do you go about your leading?
I can say yes. One, because I'm also teaching people on how to not only look at the market. Right now it's really saturated. Why can't you do things differently? And that is what has made me outstand. When I realized the market has been saturated, I had to, pursue from other countries I was able to set up a factory in Tanzania that will be serving global markets. So, you show them how, don't stay in the same position forever. You also need to grow. So when we realized there is a lot of inquiries from across global, we decided to tap into the market. Yeah, and I'm telling them there's a lot that you can do out there. Yes. Don't only target, there's a building coming up in Westlands and everybody is going asking for the same job. Why can't you do things differently? Yes.
Congratulations
Thank
on,
you.
Opening shop in Tanzania.
It's a
We love
factory.
wow.
It's a whole processing factory.
It's a whole processing factory.
Yes.
Congratulations on that. I'm sure there's a lady who's watching us right now, and maybe they've been thinking along those lines.
Yeah.
They would love to get into the timber business. They would love to start something of their own in that field, but probably they've been procrastinating on it because they're wondering, okay, how do I go about it? How do I begin? Are there, maybe they don't even know if there are as many women in there as well, and they're wondering, if they would be able to maneuver. What would be your word to them?
I'll tell them to start. As simple as that. Yeah. Start, master the business, and then you'll be unstoppable. As simple as that.
Yeah. Is there a way or some, okay, well, you don't give away your secrets as much, but is there a way of the starting? Is there a way, are there tips that you would give them?
Yeah, I always tell them, with timber business is a bit tricky. You need to learn the sizes, you need to learn the types, you need to learn. Get somewhere or, spot somewhere. Spot a very busy timber yard. Go train, volunteer, get some skills, knowledge, and then by the time you're starting, at least you know where you're starting. Yes.
So as simple as that.
Just as simple as that. Yeah.
But just start. I feel in most things, just start.
Exactly.
Because sometimes we are so much into our minds.
Yeah.
You think it, rethink it, think again, write it down, write again.
You never start.
You
time is moving, remember? Yes.
So just go ahead and start
Just go ahead and start.
Yeah, whatever it is, we're not just talking about the timber business, but whatever it is you want to do, just start. The rest you just learn along the way. We never started when we were knowing anything. We never knew anything. But look at us. Yeah. And even just getting to learn from your story, while you decided, I just want to start this. I want to start my own, yes, I'm in this business, but working for somebody else. I want to start my own. And you're saying while you were starting, you're also a young mother. So, you had the opportunity to just give yourself an excuse and say, okay, maybe just allow my baby to grow fast. And then maybe,
Yeah, there's a lot of, you can start from different angles. You can even start online. Come, get clients, pick from us. We go deliver on behalf. There's a lot of ways that you can start. You don't even need a physical timber yard to start anyway. If you know my wood, you call them. You have a client. You're aggressively marketing your products. Tell us, I have a client. I want you to supply. You get your commission. You can even start from there. You don't even need a physical timber yard.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can start from sourcing from.
I can see now online things are happening.
Actually, let's talk about that. What has online done to your kind of market? What has, just being on social media, how has that changed the market?
As we are really aggressive when it comes to marketing, and social media being one of the easiest way of marketing. And it reaches a lot of people at a go. We really invest in that. Talk of websites, that's how people see us globally from all over the world. We get inquiries. By the time I was deciding to do the factory in Tanzania, the phones couldn't stop ringing. We are in Israel, we're in the UAE. We're also setting up a warehouse in in the UAE. Yeah, so that we can be able to serve the markets, the 7 Emirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're also in the UAE.
Yeah. Abu Dhabi, to be specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it is so inspiring to hear such, you
Yes.
know, and just to see it. Because most times seeing is believing. So
True.
for someone who's seated at home, they can see, you
Yeah.
know, for a young lady who's, you know, watching us right now, they can see there's this lady.
Yeah.
She looks pretty young too. And she's doing this.
Yeah.
And she has managed to even cross the borders.
Yeah.
And do it bigger. You know, she has served the Kenyan market, still serving the Kenyan market, has thought of ways to serve markets outside.
Exactly.
You know, I can only imagine, you know, how much effort you need to put in for you to be in a position that, you know, you're in as my wood trading company.
Yeah.
I'm sure it takes a lot.
It takes a lot, but also you need to be smart enough. As I said in the beginning, sports the opportunity. Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
Spotting the opportunity.
Yeah.
Putting yourself in positions where you are able to spot that this is actually an opportunity.
Yeah, it is. Look at the UAE. It is the fastest growing. And that tells you how amount of wood that they are using every day. So why can't you be the supplier? So we're putting up a warehouse that will be serving all the constructions in the 7 Emirates.
Wow.
Yeah.
I see it. You said you got into it just from seeing the profit margins.
Yes.
And I see that you've really run with it.
Yes,
And you
yes.
want to grab everything.
But we have them
Like it's
here
supposed to
selling properties to us every day.
Yeah.
If you look at every weekend, at least we have a company from Dubai and somewhere coming to sell properties. That tells you the amount of growth that is there.
Yeah. And also, you know, we have so many other people who come in the country to do business, start their own thing. It's beautiful. So why not also have us go out there and source for these opportunities?
Yeah. I'll be the first Kenyan.
You'll be the first Kenyan there in that business?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Which year are we looking at that coming to fruition completely?
Right now we are setting up the offices. Yes. So most probably in two months we are good to go.
If your business could stand for one message to women, what would that message be?
Let me read that for you.
Oh, you have it?
Yes. Let me read
you
that
have it
for you.
written down? Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want it to be as clear as possible. And then we
Just
get
find it. Just find
Yes,
it. Just find
let
it
me
as we
get
wind
it.
up. We have around
exactly
3 minutes.
Okay.
All right.
And this is what I would leave to. Are we ending the interview? Is it the last one?
No,
Okay.
just read it. Yeah.
Don't go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. That's exactly what I did.
Don't go where the path may lead.
Yes.
Go where?
Instead, go where there is no path and leave a trail. Exactly.
Don't follow the path.
No.
This road enye iko bado na mamiti bado haijanini.
There's no road.
Yeah. Create the path
Go
there.
create the
and
path
now
there.
become the person leading.
Yes.
Become the trendsetter.
Exactly.
Because you've cleared this path.
Exactly.
Of course, there are going to be people following, but
Yes.
you're the one who took the lead.
Exactly.
That's a really good way of, you know, that's a really good message.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. And I feel like that should be our parting shot. But just to, as we finalize, maybe for someone who'd love to reach out to you, for a lady or even men, I'm sure you're not gender biased.
No, I'm not.
So for anyone who would love to reach out to you, you know, at My Wood Trading, maybe for one thing or the other, maybe there's a young person who has watched this interview and has spotted the opportunity. You've told them to spot opportunities, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they've spotted this as an opportunity for them to get into this business as an employee. Maybe they're looking for a job or whatever it is that someone may want to reach out to you for. Maybe there's a lady who would love to be mentored and all of that. Like where do they get to find you? How do they get to you? And are there openings for such?
They can find us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, websites, as My Woods.
Yeah.
Number to call, maybe I can tell them, 0726803448. That is our number. For opportunities, we post on our website. They can keep checking them. Yeah, and right now, honestly, we are taking.
Oh.
Yeah, we are taking right now.
We're actually hiring right now.
Yes, we
so
are.
this is the best time for them to just come to your website and, you know.
Yeah, they'll find them there.
Nice, amazing. And thank you for the work that you're doing, because you're also creating employment for the younger people out here. And just to think that this came from just an idea. Just an idea, and that's the beauty of life. That sometimes it just takes this small thing, you just having that small faith of deciding, I'm going for this, and now look at it now. It's employing people, it's giving other people, you know, allowing them to, you know, fund their livelihoods and all. So you're doing an amazing job, and that's why we're celebrating you as a woman at the forefront today. Maybe if you have a parting shot or one last thing you'd love to mention.
I think I have already given them the parting shot, but women should arise. We can do things out here. Other women are doing, so why not you?
Best way to end it. Other people are doing it, why not you? Just get into it, get to begin, and stay on focus. And you'll also just be able to do whatever it is that you want to do and become whoever it is that you want to become. This is where we end this interview. My name is Vivian Dagwa. This has been Woman at the Forefront. Thank you for watching.
It's nice to see you.
I think our angel is not ready for this world yet. That's why we should keep waiting.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the Positive Warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Be honest. How much time do you spend on your smartphone a day? I'm on mine way too much, and I'm not the only one. Some people find this increase in screen time worrying, especially when it comes to kids. According to a study by the OECD, nearly every 15-year-old owns a smartphone in the 38 member countries of the organization. Distractions, stress, and addiction are on the rise. So how should we deal with this and find a healthy balance with our smartphone use? I'm guessing your phone isn't far away from you right now. Usually, we're on them a lot. That also means we are constantly available, continuously messaging, and distracting ourselves, and quite frankly, others too. It's a vicious cycle. And phones also give bullying a whole new platform. This can become a serious issue, especially in schools, leading to some schools even banning their use. In Brazil, using smartphones in school has been forbidden by law since the start of 2025. Students deposit their phones in the morning, in their lockers, for example, and can only use them once the school day is over. The idea behind this is to reduce distractions.
I'm more focused now. I used to be anxious about people messaging me. I always want to check my phone. Now, all I can focus on is school. I like it, and the lessons have been going well.
Phones can still be used in emergencies and for teaching purposes. The Brazilian government hopes that the law can help students to concentrate better, as well as benefit their health. It's also supposed to make the students interact more with each other. In real life, of course.
We are regaining social interactions, something we had lost due to all the screens and phones. The kids were glued to their phones and had trouble controlling how much time they spent on them. You see, if adults can't control their screen time, how can we expect the kids to do so?
Across the globe, smartphone-free schools are being tested, like in New Zealand, China, and Italy. In other countries, individual schools are opting to try it. Some studies have shown that this can have a positive effect on the social well-being of the students. But critics argue that this leaves students unable to learn media literacy, and that it can't really be enforced.
Yes, the kids do try to get around it, but overall it's been going a lot better than we expected. Most of the students and the parents have welcomed the new rules. As in every large group, there are exceptions, of course.
It's mostly the older students that have trouble accepting the new rules. Some question why they're not allowed to check their phone during the breaks.
My grades and my performance in class have improved. But there's also a downside to it all, because the truth is that it makes communicating much harder. Almost all of it happens on our phones nowadays. And the first thing I do when I leave school is check my phone. It's almost become a necessity.
Even at schools that have banned the use of phones, 29% of pupils use them anyway. That's according to a study by the OECD. Also, how much screen time is okay outside of school? After all, children's brains and personalities are still developing, and some studies show that social media could have an influence on the brain, leading to some parents wanting stricter rules concerning the use of phones, be that inside or outside of school. Around the globe, parent-led efforts aim to delay children getting smartphones until they're a bit older. In Brazil, one such initiative is called Movimento Desconecta. They aim for phone users to be over 14 years old.
We believe that children should only have their own smartphone once they're old enough to handle it. We think that's the best way to deal with the risks that come with the use.
This campaign tries to get larger groups or entire schools to participate. Participating means agreeing to stop using digital technology until the children turn 14. But other parents are worried that this might make some students feel excluded.
If you ban smartphones, especially things like WhatsApp, which is where you communicate with others and get invited to parties, well, some kids might end up missing out.
A study conducted in Florida showed that around 80% of 11 to 13-year-olds possess their own smartphones. Those without phones are in a minority, which doesn't make things better.
Kids who are in a minority, in any sense, are often likely to experience marginalization or cyberbullying or any other type of mistreatment.
And there are also positive sides to smartphones.
Kids who owned smartphones fared better on basically every measure of wellness that we assessed. Kids who have their own smartphones in our study were more likely to spend time in person with friends each week. They were also more likely to spend more time online with friends.
One of the biggest issues related to smartphones is social media. A Danish study found that on average, children aged 9 to 14 spend 3 hours per day on TikTok and YouTube, apps that can contain disturbing content.
The problem might not lie in the device itself. It might be what children are using that device for.
That could be TikTok, Instagram, or any of the other apps that have become part of our day-to-day lives. An estimated 5 billion people around the world use social media. Memes, trends, and influencers are fun and help people connect. The results of a survey among US teenagers show that 80% feel closer to their friends through social media. They use social media to get in touch with others and express themselves creatively. But how does social media affect mental health? Different studies have come to different conclusions. Some see a clear link between social media and depression. Others argue that how we use social media is more important.
We found that extremely heavy social media use was associated with depression and anxiety, but only among children who use their favorite app for 6 hours or more a day.
Social media can also be a negative influence when it comes to eating disorders and increase the pressure to adhere to unhealthy beauty standards. Posting on apps always invites others to comment. Justin Martin and his team found that the constant influx of opinions also affects children.
Kids who frequently post things publicly online were more likely to report feeling depressed, feeling anxious, being angry, and losing their temper, to report lower self-esteem.
These feelings can be a reaction to negative comments or to being ignored. If it all ends up being a bit too much, spending time on social media is probably not going to help. Of course, you can turn off notifications, set time limits for apps you use frequently, or just try to use it less when you're with friends. In fact, a recent survey among British adolescents revealed that almost 50% would have preferred to grow up without the internet and actively feel worse after a scrolling session. And honestly, I get it. To prevent this from escalating, Australia is now taking action.
Social media is doing harm to our kids, and I'm calling time on it.
So what does he mean by calling time on it? Well, from late 2025, kids won't be able to sign up for social media until they're 16. That's a big jump from the usual 13, although a lot of younger kids just lie about their age anyway. But if platforms don't play by the rules, they could be hit with fines of up to 50 million Australian dollars. So how exactly does the Australian government plan to make sure this actually happens? Social media platforms